My dad is my hero. There are some people in this world that don't grow up with a father. And I think that is a massive reason for why there is men in this world the way there is. When you're growing up, your dad is supposed to be your hero. He's supposed to teach you how to be a man, teach you how to fight, teach you how to defend yourself, teach you how to sell, teach you skills, how to change your oil in your car, all these things that are necessary for a man to teach you in your life. And I'm very fortunate to still be here on this earth at 24 years old, and my father still be alive, still be active. He plays football with me, he plays basketball with me, and he actually works on my sales team, which you'll find out in a little bit. And I had the luxury of being able to really impact my father's life. He works with me now, and he makes more money than he's ever had. He's happier than he's ever been in his life. And I just want to say to my father this message, if you watch this, which I'd hope you watch it because it's your own podcast, and this happens to come out on Father's Day, so happy Father's Day. I love you. I thank you for everything you've done for me, and nobody's a perfect man. You've made your mistakes as I've made mine, but at the end of the day, having a father who actually cares about you, who loves you, who wants you to do good in this world, and is a good role model for hard work, what it means to just, even though if you don't like your job, you don't like your life situation, you just go through it. You don't bitch about things. You don't complain. You get up, you get things done because you're a man and you're supposed to. I thank you because you taught me what it's supposed to be like to be a man. In today's world, there is a lot of lack of leaders and real men that go to work every day, no matter if they do or don't want to, that go to the gym every day, no matter if they do or don't want to. We've become very soft because we lack real fathers. And every single year, we get weaker and weaker and weaker as a male hierarchy, male dominance. I'm not really sure the quite word there, but we get weaker as a society of men, and the man is being attacked for being masculine. So I just want to say that I'm thankful for the way you raised me. I'm thankful for everything you've done, and I'm very, very much and sincerely happy that I was able to grow up my whole life with my father. And for those of you who don't have to, and if you've watched this podcast before, Two Dudes, Three Legs, my partner doesn't even know I'm shooting this. He lost his father when he was young, and his father passed away from a sickness, and he had to watch his father suffer. I couldn't imagine going through that. And for Tony, you're a strong fucking motherfucker, and it is amazing what you've done. I'm happy to be a podcast host with you. He just became a father as well a few months back. So Tony, happy Father's Day, your first one ever. But to wrap this up, I hope you enjoy this podcast. It's the first time I ever got to sit down with my dad on a podcast and talk to him. And I would strongly urge everyone, if you have people you love in your life, to sit down and make content with them, because one day they won't be here. And I'll remember this forever. I'll get to watch it in 30, 40, 50 years and know what it was like to sit down and talk to my dad. So I hope you enjoy this podcast as much as I enjoyed making it for you.
Oh, you fucking gonna be famous.
Guys are looking sharp.
Zach Dingee,
Tony Cappelletti.
Two Dudes, Three Legs podcast, where we share business tips, interview experts,
And travel the world.
This week on Two Dudes, Three Legs.
Welcome back to the Two Dudes, Three Legs podcast.
up,
Your
baby?
host, Zach Dingee.
And Tony Cappelletti.
Today, Junior, we're sitting with, I'm the junior. We have a senior on the podcast, goes by the name of Glenn Dingee, and he is mi padre.
A.K.A. Stone.
That's right.
Why do they call you Stone?
So I was a stoner, to be honest.
You were?
When I was young, yeah. But that's a great story, actually. So Larry Hellwig, the Hellwigs used to live right across the street from us. He Laughing Larry. He's like on WPDH. He's a pretty well-known guy.
Larry Hellwig.
Yep.
What a fucking name.
Yep. And he used to dress like Kiss and like to the T. Like he looked like
boots,
everything.
the silver
makeup,
makeup.
the whole 9 yards. Anyway, for some reason, he called me Glenstone, Glenstone, Glenstone. Like every time he would see me, that
Isn't that a
Glenstone,
place?
Glenstone, Glenstone.
Sounds like a place.
He just made it up out of the blue. So as time went on, everybody just kind of just turned into the Stone.
That's funny.
It rhymes with gemstone. That's dope.
Glenstone.
So like my Dingees, all my Dingees gear have the Stone on like the jackets and the
Oh,
shirts. And
shit.
my truck had it on the side, because like in the old days, you used to put your name of the driver like right on a tow truck. So it said the Stone right there. So to this day, when he sees me, if anywhere we go, if I run into him at the mall,
How long were you towing?
I always thought it because wow, I can't speak. I always thought it was because you were little and you were tough. So
Nope.
instead of being the Rock, you were the Stone.
Because your dad was a stoner.
Nicknames.
But that's a good description of like what I used to do in sports. Like I was small but gritty, and I just used to like a matter of effort was
Stone
how
was an
I
athlete back in the
became
day?
Oh, dude, I played till I was 5 years ago.
Played what?
Everything, basketball, football. Like I played flag football tournaments. Like we played in tournaments together.
Yeah, we
Like
won
think
the Newburgh
about
tournament.
that. Like who has the ability to play competitive football with your son?
Dad, I
Yeah.
need you to hold up your pinky to that camera right now. Close your hand and go like this.
It's off camera.
The pinky's not on. Hold up, zoom out.
You can just zoom in on it right there because that gives you a good.
My boy got 2 thumbs, 1 hand.
It's this knot on here is like I don't even know where it came from.
How'd you do
we
that?
had
How'd
so
you do
many
that?
injuries.
2
Dude,
thumbs,
I broke
1
my
hand
nose
podcast.
3 times. We had injuries. We relentlessly played sports constantly, 2 to 3, 4 times a week. Basketball, football in the winter, like just
That's why you're so
nonstop.
full of life.
yeah. We were insane. We were insane.
What's your craziest injury story, Glenn?
Well, I don't know about crazy, but funny. So we were playing football at King Street Park. It was literally like packed snow. It was the perfect field to play in the winter. So we were playing, I think it was John Murphy, Greg DeFreya, a couple other guys. It was always competitive. So it was like our team against their team. Meet us there Thursday night. We're going to kick your ass, blah, blah, blah. Anyway, I got smashed in the face and I looked at my brother and I'm like, dude, is it broke? Like it's broke. Like I can feel it. And they just look at me like, no, it's fine. Let's go play. I get home and the nose is like that. Like when I looked in the mirror, when I got home, I was like, oh, it's fucking broke. So the doctor broke it again. And then, no, I'm sorry. I broke it a year or 2 years later playing basketball. Somebody elbowed me coming down with a rebound. And then when I went to the doctor, he broke it again to finally straighten it. So the first time I just left it. The second time they broke it, I was like, all right, just straighten it because it's like, I don't want to go through life with a crooked nose.
I don't get how you break a nose. There's no bone in there.
No, you get whacked like this or whacked on the side. It's, yeah.
But what is it? Cartilage? What are we breaking?
Dog, there's a
I'm not a
bone right
doctor.
here.
I don't know.
Yeah, but it ends like up here.
It ends right fucking here
Yeah,
where
no,
the
there's
bone
kind
ends.
of bone
dickhead.
right here. Yeah. This part of it is cartilage, but this part is got bone in it.
Who's got a skull? Somebody give me a skull. I gotta fucking see
Right.
this.
It has that like
There's a fucking
weird
hole in it.
opening
Yeah.
there. Yeah. No, there's some bone there.
You know, you two are pretty similar. He's got 4 brothers. Well, technically 5 brothers. You got 4 brothers.
4 brothers.
You guys
Big
grew up-
family.
We
grew
both
up in a
drove
fucking
tow
crazy
trucks.
household. Yep. Both
Yep.
Italian.
Yep.
You drove tow trucks or flatbeds or both?
Flatbed.
Yeah.
Well, what's the difference?
Well, tow
yeah.
truck,
No, it's a
sling, wheel
flatbed.
lift. Yeah.
But I only did transportation. I never did any type of like recovery or anything like
Yeah.
that.
We chased accidents. We did flip cars over, pulled them out of
Craziest story.
ditches.
Come on, give me one.
Worst
Tow
accident.
truck stories.
Oof.
Oh, this one's brutal. I already think I know it.
I mean, like seeing brains getting scooped up with shovels. And
What?
there was one. I'll tell you what. This is probably the one I remember the most, and just I don't even know how to describe it, but it was probably the craziest thing I ever seen in terms of like the perfect impact. So as you're going down towards the Spack and Kill overpass,
Mm-hmm.
years ago there was no divider there.
Oh shit.
So what happened, and it kind of puddled in that area. So whenever there was rain,
Hydroplane.
you would
baby.
hydroplane. Well, this car just perfectly hit the other car coming at it, and it literally shoved the body up into the roof of the car. Like when you walked up, the whole side of the car was gone. And I looked in and I'm like, where's the body? It was literally just pressed against the ceiling.
Oh
It was
my God.
the car was like half of a car and the body was just
You
shoved.
know the accident was bad because at no point in that story did he refer to there being a person. It was a body,
body.
instantly.
Dude, it was Literally like that. That person had no clue what was coming.
Was it a
dead
dude?
on the instant? That I don't remember. I think it was a woman, but I couldn't swear to it. And another one, when you're coming up where you're going into Marish, you come up by the water plant and then it like straightens out just before you get to Marish. Years ago, there was a light pole that had a concrete bottom to it, and somebody had been flying. And years ago, you know, cars didn't have airbags. They didn't have protection, ABS.
Wasn't even seatbelt laws
Right.
back then.
The girl was literally like stuck to the steering wheel. Like she was talking, but like she was implanted against.
Did she die?
They were like talking to her and trying to cut her out. And it was
Did she
crazy
live?
scene. Oh, she lived. Yeah, she was alive. Like
Oh
it wasn't
God.
like it wasn't physically implanted inside her, so to speak, but she was like wedged between the seat and the steering wheel. Everything in the car had pushed
That's crazy.
so far into the.
Cars have come a long
compartment.
way, and
Yes.
and the safety and regulations.
Oh,
is fucking
you would
nuts.
never see that today. The way a car is designed, like it's almost
I
impossible.
remember they all used to be
Everything would.
boats.
They what?
They all used to be boats.
Oh yeah,
everything was a boat.
just a
Huge
frame
heavy,
with
big
an
metal.
engine and pieces inside.
So let's talk about cars. You were in car sales for 24 years.
20 and a half.
20 and a half. Wait, really?
20 and a
I
half.
thought it was longer.
Well, 24
24.
years in sales, but 20 and a half, and now the 2.5 here.
Where'd you start with that?
Mm.
What, in sales in general?
In cars, yeah.
Yeah, so I drove 10 years for my brother, tow trucks. I just got married and had kids and moved into a house, and I decided like I didn't want to be on the road anymore. So I had went to the body shop. I started painting cars. I did that for about 4 years. And then I went from one body shop to another. That was another story. I basically got fired, the first job I ever got fired for, and that was for
Huff and paint.
no. there was a little shenanigans between a couple of guys in the paint shop, and it escalated to the point where we both got fired.
Oh shit!
But
Over
the guy
shenanigans?
that I
Wars,
worked
right?
for was like he was a weird dude. So
Wasn't it prank wars? You guys
yeah,
just
it was
started
literally
pranking each
prank
other?
wars. Yes. You know what I did?
Can we get some details? Give me some
Listen to
details.
this one. So I forget what it was. It was either a dead bird or like a big dead bug, right? So I'd found it and I was like, I'm going to go put it in this guy's car and like scare the shit out of him. So I put it over the visor and I like tilted the visor down a little. So like eventually it would just like vibrate off
yeah.
and fall. His wife was driving the car when it fell.
Shut up.
So he came in. That's literally why I got fired. That is the story of
my
why I
God.
got fired.
Was she the
She
girl?
He
crashed?
came in and we like shit was getting thrown around. We were fucking fighting each other and
but
yeah.
you guys were just playing around? or-
No.
Dude, he wanted to kill me. Like he was. So that was one of a couple fights at the dealer.
That's fucking
Yeah.
funny.
Oh yeah, it was crazy.
But you weren't even selling
How
cars.
did
That
you
was at a
even know
body
it
shop.
was
No,
you?
that was at the body shop,
that was
and
a
that's
body
how I
shop.
got fired. That's what
Yeah.
I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's how I got out of the first body shop.
Mhm.
Went to the second body shop, which he much nicer guy, much nicer environment. And I had been looking into sales because again, now I have kids. I want to do something that's going to advance my career, make more money, afford to give my kids a good living. And Joe Lombarello, I'll never forget. He was one of the nicest people I've ever worked for. Taught me a lot of good life
Joe or
lessons.
John?
Joe?
The father.
Oh.
No, so Vince
Oh.
Lombarello started the business. John was the one that does the
Low
Corvette.
motion.
Yeah, that's his cousin.
Yeah, I'm friends with the sons.
So his cousin Joe ran the body shop that was handed down from his father. I'm just telling you, a great, great, great person.
Mm.
Anyway, I had been looking into sales, and he was basically the one that said, listen, you got to go do it. You got to go do it. Like, just, stop thinking about it and just go do it. Like, I know your intentions and you're a good guy and you'll do great in sales. And the funny thing is I had such a hard time deciding to go into sales because as a mentality, I had the same mentality that everybody else did about car sales, which is, you got to be a snake oil salesman and you got to lie to people and you got, And he looked at me one day and because I had literally said that out loud to him. I was like, I can't do that, Joe. And he looked at me and went, professional salespeople don't do that. Like,
So there was
this great at what you do. And that was the day I decided, I'm going to do it. I can do that because I'm an honest guy. I'm a reputable guy. I want to build a clientele. I want to have a good.
So you thought you had to be
literally
a con man to be a car.
Literally.
There was a stereotype back then even about being a car sales.
Why do they always get such a bad rap? I don't get it. I mean,
listen,
got a lot
I
of
would
car
think
people in my
insurance is
family.
worse. Insurance fucking salesmen
Lawyers?
can fuck you over. Lawyers can fuck your whole life up.
Literally, because with lawyers, you have no clue what's going on.
The worst a car sales guy could do is get an extra $1,000 on
Right.
a
I
vehicle.
mean, even in that time, 20 years ago, there was people knew what the cost of the car was, invoice. They could call their buddy. There was enough information on the internet. Like it was hard to be that type of a con man, so to speak, in that business. And that was the other thing I tell people all the time. I was never the one on the interview. They were the one on the interview. I wanted to work for a reputable dealer. I did my due diligence in terms of, picking somewhere to work for. I'd been on 6 interviews. Half the guys are like, Glenn, I'll give you they knew me. I knew all the guys in the car business. I've been in this area forever. Everybody knows my
Well, I happen to know that this story doesn't end that way.
What do you mean?
Continue telling us about your career in cars.
So anyway, I went on a bunch of interviews, and there was 2 or 3 guys that were like, "Here's a dealer plate. Come back tomorrow. You're hired." Blah blah blah. Like,
any names? I know a lot of car dealers.
Well, I
in
don't
this
know.
area.
Are we appropriate to say names of people?
They're never gonna fucking watch it.
Talk about it.
So Poughkeepsie Nissan was the first place I went to. Franny Pomerico was a great friend of mine. I grew up with him, and that was basically more just a information gaining session. I was like, hey, I'm thinking about getting into the business. Like, give me a little insight so I know.
Learning the ropes.
Right. I want to know what I'm in for, what I had to ask when I go on an interview. What do I expect? Blah, blah, blah. So he didn't hire me because he probably, and he says it to this day, he wish he did, but he didn't think at that time that I would have been a good salesperson. So he just gave me the information and sent me on my way. So I went to Calandria, I went to Duchess Dodge, the Mulcahy's rather. Hudson was one of them. Sean, John, good people. Yeah, no doubt about it. Good people. There was a couple more.
So you always
I don't
went
remember.
to dealerships. You never did used car?
Oh, no, I was definitely not going to a used car. I wanted to go to a dealership. Again, it's more of a reputation. There's more of that was one of the things I learned from Franny too. Your warranties with the cars, new cars, you just have a much more expansive clientele and a reputation with, a dealership. So yeah, it just happened that the more I did the investigation throughout, one thing I knew, I wanted to sell American cars. It's like anything when you're in sales, you have to believe in what you sell in. So I always bought American cars. I wanted to sell American cars.
I was just talking to your son about that today. I told him I'm buying American cars from here on out.
Oh yeah. To me, it was always, I've always been a patriot. And I wish we could buy more American products. You can't buy American TVs. You can't buy American electric drivers. You can't buy.
You can. They suck.
Well, I don't even think they exist. Like, tell me one.
They probably don't.
Like, tell me one, because I don't know any.
Well, Stone, why are so many people buying foreign cars, especially Asian cars in the United States?
Well, there was a time. So it's like anything. It's just like why people have that, or why car salespeople have that reputation is because once you get it in your mind, it doesn't matter if it really changes. It's just you believe it now. So it's,
And what do they believe now about
in terms of the foreign, right? So that's what I was going to get to. If years ago when the foreign cars came on the market, they were good in the sense they were more reliable. They got better gas mileage. I don't know if they rode any better, but
that was mostly like Japanese and Chinese cars.
Toyota, Honda.
Honda, when they came on the market, it kind of made a splash. Like at first everybody laughed at them, but then when they got into the business for a couple of years and people were
So you were around
saving the money. No, but I know the history of the cars.
Okay.
Like, well, listen, I was driving tow trucks, so I was still kind of attached to the car business. All we did was work for dealers and run wrecks, and it was all kind of a part of my, job, so to speak, or my employment.
When you started selling Cadillacs, were they like the Cadillac still? Was that like the fucking Bentley, or was it done with?
So listen, like even Cadillac made that transition. So kind of to follow up on what he was asking about, the import cars were good. Then the American cars started getting really good, but people didn't like recognize that. You're taught for so long, just go buy a Honda, go buy a Honda, go buy a Honda. And you didn't even recognize that the Cadillac was a way better car and the GMC was a way better truck. And, you know, it took a while for people to finally realize that, no, these are better. They've overtaken a lot of these, you know, foreign cars. The rides were better. The interiors were better. The technology was better. I mean, when it comes to trucks, you know, as much as I know about them, like GMC is the truck, period. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. If you know the inner workings of it, the frame, the suspension, the engines, the transmissions, the durability, the reliability, the towing capability, the payload, when you look at all that and you break it down, there's nothing comes close. Ford is a really close second, but then, you know, you get Dodge and all that, which is not a very good long-term reliable vehicle.
Yeah.
So anyway, the Cadillac became like really the new Cadillac because it was just like Buick. Buick had their people died off, like literally. The people that bought
I know.
Buicks literally died.
I can't think of Buick without smelling mothballs.
Right. So
the fucking old people.
They had to transition into a whole new clientele. Cadillac had to do the same thing. Cadillacs were big luxury Cadillacs that the mafia guys drove and your uncle drove that was a bookie and, you know, like all that stuff. So once it transitioned into more of a right around 2002, 2003, which was, I think was the first year of the CTS, that's when it really started to transition. It took probably until 2010 to 2014 to really, you know, that transition to fully take effect. But that's when it became more of a sport luxury car, which Mercedes and BMW already were. They had the luxury, but they also had the sport version where Cadillac just had the luxury first. And then it turned into
they had to evolve with the market.
They have to, because that was their market.
What was the first decade of selling cars like? Your first decade.
It was... The car business was really at its prime in the sense that it wasn't internet yet. There was still people coming through the door. So like, it's funny if you look at, so just going back to salespeople in general, like sales is easy as long as you work, as long as you're out there talking to people, getting referrals, hitting the floor.
Sales is a contact sport.
Right. You have to be... You know, I can remember guys like, oh, I just spent 2 hours with that guy. I need a break. No, I drop somebody. I'm on the next person. Like I'm one after the other. So you had that type of flow into the dealership where you could easily just sell cars if you just put your mind to it and you actually worked and you were halfway decent at what you did. So in the beginning, it was that good. I mean,
what year was that?
Cars. I started in March 24th, 2000.
2000.
Yep.
I feel like back in the day, going and buying a new car was a fun experience, and now it seems like a dreadful fucking thing that everybody hates to do.
Yeah, it always has been, but when the mentality of the consumer finally realized that, like, they know the cost of the car, and there isn't like any back end stuff that we're really making that they don't know about. Once they became educated, it was easier for them to buy a car and less stressful for them to buy a car. You know, before when there was no idea of what, you know, the car really cost and the dealer really made on it. Now it's like you feel like you're getting the rug pulled out from underneath you. So there was more tension by the consumer. Now there's less in that sense because they're like, yeah, you're only making $500 on the car. Okay, you're making a little back end money from the dealer, but I only want to know what you're making off of me.
Does anybody know what the historical kind of original car sales structure was before it turned into dealerships?
No.
No, I mean, it kind of had been dealerships. Like you could go back into the 40s and the 50s. There were still dealerships.
Really?
Yeah, I can't imagine cars being sold any other way.
Well, I'm guessing that when it was like new, it was, you had to have enough money to buy one and you just said, oh, I want...
Straight from the
a Model T,
Ford,
just give it to me. That's crazy. And they produced it, and you you picked it up.
Bought
and
it
they
straight
delivered
from
to you, right?
Before we go into more stigmas around car sales, I think it's interesting to point out that, and I don't think a lot of our viewers know that both Zach and Tony's dads were both in car sales.
That's true.
My dad was a car dealer.
Oh, no way.
A car, used car
Around
or
here?
dealer?
Yeah, he used to own, that lot across the street from Smiles?
Right going
Oh,
down.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's Wheels R Us now.
Wheels are us, yeah.
Steven owns it.
Yeah, Steven, yeah.
Yeah,
So
Wait,
Steven's...
your father owned that?
yeah. And it was either my father with my uncle Vinny. They both owned it.
Didn't Noel own it too or run it too for a little bit?
He might have worked there. He never owned it.
Well,
Oh.
Steve I had known over the years, but I finally realized that Steve has some type of relationship with your family, right? Who's
Steve's
Steve?
my uncle.
He's your uncle. He's married to...
Cynthia, but she's not.
She's not family.
He's Tony's
so
mom's brother.
Oh,
Yeah.
mom's brother. That's right. That's
Yeah.
what it is.
He's my crazy uncle.
Gotcha.
I buy every car I've had for the last fucking 20 years off of him.
hmm He was always
He
a
just bought a
wholesaler.
Bentley.
He was a wholesaler who had some retail stores, is what it really was.
Well, now,
His main
now he's got Northeast Ford. MAG Auto is his. They have a couple
mag,
locations.
Yeah.
And he's still got Wheels of Us.
Yep.
He's
Killing
killing it.
He actually, everybody I talked to about him, because I didn't know him personally before I met him at the party, he always had a good reputation. Everybody.
Yeah, he's a good dude. He's a really
guy.
good dude.
So cool. I was at, I don't mean to interject you, but I saw the Bentley. Zach, have you seen it or no?
Yeah.
Okay, because I went into Savona's in Poughkeepsie and I was just walking in and he was right there with Cynthia and he got up and like said hello to me, shook my hand, was like, "Hey Bryce, how are you?" It was like, I was like, wow, how cool he was,
Yeah, he's just a really nice
He's
guy.
a very down earth guy.
Yeah.
The first time I ever met him, I was with your brother. We went to his house. Noel just had started selling solar. He brought me to his house, and we went inside. First, he showed me his new motorcycle. Then he showed me his RV. Then we went inside. By the time we got inside, we walked into his third living room, and he had a full racing simulator. That was like a $30,000 racing simulator. You get in, you close the fucking door. It's a whole cage. The seat turns in the fucking thing.
3 TV screens.
Yeah, 3 TVs all around you. It
It's
was
like a legit IndyCar simulated.
I tried it.
drive.
He's like,
I've
I'm racing
driven-
with this guy in Germany right now. I'm like, holy
Yeah, it's,
fuck.
you really think you're in a car. It's so realistic. It's crazy.
Yeah, that thing was cool as hell.
That sounds fun. Let's go visit.
It's
him
all the
sometime.
fun of
I wanna
racing
try it.
NASCAR. You can race
Badass.
NASCAR, Formula One, all sorts of crazy shit.
Yeah. All right. So what was the second decade of car sales like when it started to not be so good anymore?
Yeah, so the actual numbers went down in terms of how much you could produce over a year's time. In
Selling.
my numbers, right?
Yeah.
Like I had years where I did
As an industry or for yourself?
as an industry.
Yeah.
Obviously it kind of filters down through everybody,
Right.
All the dealerships, all the manufacturers. But my pay scale stayed the same. I got a lot of deals, so to speak, since I had been there for so long. There was a little bit of pay for this, a little bit of pay for that. They pay me manager pay, lot pay, things like that. So, it was just a way for him to, you have to keep, people, especially good people. So, you don't want them jumping ship, which
Right.
I never really thought of anyway, because whenever you're in any sales business, it's clientele. If I jump ship and go somewhere else because the guy's going to pay me a little more money per week, well, I got to build my whole clientele over again.
Yeah.
But, it got to the point where I was still making the same money, but it was harder to sell the amount of cars in a month. So I had done 120, 125 a year. We had, in fact, right after, there was 9/11, and then a couple of years later, I think it was 04 and 05, GM came out employee pricing. Like that was like a marketing scheme.
Yeah.
Dude, we sold every single car in the parking lot.
Wow.
Like if you've seen Hudson, there's rows and rows and rows of cars all the way up around the back.
Yeah.
By the second month, we had one row of cars. Like
That's crazy.
it was
all
the
because
inventory
they said
was gone.
employee pricing.
employee pricing. Like we were just walk up. Which one do you want? Okay, come on inside. This is the price when you want to pick it up. Put them in the office. We did. That was the biggest month I ever had. 28 cars, and doing 15 or 18 was like spectacular.
Yeah.
I mean, me and Bobby O, those 2 months, I think between the two of us, we sold 100 cars. in
Bobby
2
O.
months.
Bobby O'Connor?
O'Connell.
What's a commission percentage like on a car sale, Glenn? Just give
You
me a
don't really
roundabout.
make money on the commission. You make money on all your bonuses. So like
So hit me with some numbers.
GM would pay you. I mean, they had all kinds of different programs throughout time. So really on a car, you make between $100 and $200 depending on the
What?
dealership. Yeah, dude, nothing.
Wow.
Well,
Nothing.
that means you only made what's 100 times 120.
No, but you had bonuses at the end of the month for a couple thousand, depending on what level you hit. GM would pay you $200, $300 a car. There was times when they did almost like a lottery, like a wheel spin. Like you hit it, you'd sell a car if it was a Sierra or a Grand Prix or whatever. You would take the VIN, you'd go back onto your computer, you'd plug in the VIN, and then you'd click a button, and it would like spin out a number. I remember walking out of, this was when we didn't even actually have each separate computers at our desk. This was like really early. You had to go to one computer in the back or two computers. One was in the back, one was in the other side of the showroom. I walked out after like 4 cars. I had like $3,700.
It's like a game.
Do you think
Like
The fuck kind of a pay scale is it?
Dude, it was crazy.
Scratch off ticket cars? What the fuck is
It
that?
was like, so I hit one, it was like 500. I rolled the next one, it was like 1,000. I rolled the next one, it was like 1,500. I walked out and like everybody's looking at me like, dude, I just like hit
That's the
fucking
crazy
lotto
Dude,
of
what
cars.
does GM think? GM's like, these car dealers are degenerates. They don't want paychecks. They want scratch off tickets.
Right, but listen, so you're not making the money on the car. So that was the transition where, because they say now, like, you're really like the dealer runs the dealership. I mean, the manufacturer runs the dealership, not the dealer. Like, so now the manufacturer is funding your salespeople instead of the dealership funding the salespeople. So the manufacturer is now in control, and they did it. It's smart. Like everything I did, it was on a 3-month pay. So like whatever I did this month, I didn't get paid for 3 months. So it was like every quarter. So like you were hooked. Like you didn't want to leave if you had $3,000, $4,000, $5,000, $10,000 in the bank. Yes, they keep you.
That's so
they don't pay you at the
weird,
end of the
man.
month because then you collect your money. You go, hey, F you, I'm going to sell cars
Is
for
that
this guy.
100% commission-based sales, Glenn?
Pretty much.
Okay.
I mean, they paid you
Right.
a
Now-
base salary of 150 or 200. I didn't even pay my health insurance. I didn't pay
Oh, really?
nothing. I
So-
mean,
Does the manufacturer sell the car to the dealership, or do they just give it to you and then give it to the dealership and then wait till the dealership sells the car and then they take their wholesale cut?
yes to both, because it's really just financed. So even though they sell it to the dealership is now just financing it until they can sell the car. That's what they call a floor plan. So he got an entire dealership floor planned, and he's just trying to sell it fast enough so there's more coming in than he's spending on his floor plan.
So it's not so clean cut what kind of like how fucked over the consumer is. Like it's not like the wholesale.
No consumer ever got fucked by buying a car.
It's
Period.
not. It's not just like an obscene markup.
No, but that where is the sinning making profit? Like everybody's supposed to make a profit.
So you know how much.
If it's Apple,
Everybody's got to get a piece.
like if Apple makes a phone for $50 and they sell it to you for $1,500, well then Apple ripped off everybody in the world.
That's a bar.
So it's
that's
not
a
it's
bar.
not a gross markup. Like what would the markup be though, Glenn?
Like genuinely on a car.
Yes,
I mean, if you make $1,000 on a car,
the
it's
dealership we're talking about.
correct.
That's not even crazy considering the price
No.
of cars
No,
nowadays.
but again, getting back to what I just said, now the manufacturer is going to fund them. All right, if you sell 10 of these Sierras, I'm going to give you $10,000 every month or $20,000.
So they're doing those same games with the dealer as the dealer's doing with the sale?
Correct.
Wow.
And they're waiting 3 months to get their money.
Wow. I have one more question in the line of this, and then I'll let you guys flow. If you could just give me an approximate round number, whatever comes to your head, what percentage of the people who walk on the lot buy a car? Just give me.
Well, a closing ratio
Is it tax season?
for. Well, listen.
What's the percentage?
Listen,
that you
I
guys
saw
sell?
that.
there was always a reason somebody would want to buy a car. Tax season, Christmas, like
Right.
it's
seasonal.
So what
Well,
percentage
not
of the
only-
people that walk on the lot buy a car?
it's a closing ratio is 25%. So
Okay.
that's a good closing ratio, almost an average. Like somebody that's not that good will do 20. Somebody that's really good will do 35. Like nobody's doing 50% closing ratio. It's impossible.
So now my follow-up would be, what percentage of people would buy a car, in your opinion, if there was no salespeople on the lot?
But listen, that's been my argument forever. So perfect scenario. Like I just bought that Tesla.
For
Like,
fuck's sake, I wanted to ask that fucking question. I had a fucking shit written down. Go ahead.
right. So, I never talk to a person. You go online, you order the car that you want, and there's the price. And I said this for 10 years when I was at the dealership. It should be a one price, period. Because here's the dilemma when you get into the real heart of selling something. Their focus when they come in is, I need to get the price down, right? Like they're not
Why?
actually thinking
How did that
about
even happen with
what
cars?
car, what's the options going to be, what color do I want? They're not focusing on the car. They're focusing on, I got to go negotiate with the salesperson and I got to negotiate with the
Where did
the
that
manager.
even come from?
Well, it's just the psychological mess that we've created.
I don't get it. Like, you never see somebody go to a Stop and Shop and then they're like, okay, $300. And then they go, all right, but what can you really do?
Exactly.
And it's like,
so it's
nobody's selling you shit at a different price. What are you talking about?
right. And listen, it's your house. You negotiate. There's a lot of things in life.
I think
that you
maybe it's
negotiate.
because used cars.
No, it's just that's how
It's
it was
buying from a person.
created from the beginning. You're putting a salesperson right in the middle, which was my point. Like
Okay.
when I bought a Tesla, I didn't have a salesperson. I bought
Right.
a car and
Right.
then they gave me the paperwork and I did the paperwork and I did the financing and I went in and they went sign the paper. See you later.
That's
I mean,
crazy.
they would ask me, if I needed questions answered or I needed
Tesla's
to see
so
how to.
s-
Well, listen,
it's
back
so
on the point.
smart.
Back on the point of Tesla. Every car company is going to have to do that, but the only problem is Tesla has built a brand where people don't even want to go look at the car; they just want to go buy the fucking car because it's
Correct.
so cool. So the problem that's going to happen with like Ford, Toyota, Cadillac, whatever it is they have to build such a brand where people don't need to ask questions about the car, like they just want the car. Because if it's all online, there's no salesman to sell it. Then when they come in, they're just going to buy a car, walk into the lot and buy it all, just like Tesla.
Not necessarily. So you're kind of on the right point. So this is really what it comes down to. So Saturn did that, right? Years ago. Saturn was a one price. I mean, I think that was almost a test run by GM. Like, let's see how this works. But getting back to what I said, if you stop thinking about the price, now you're going to go look at the GMC Acadia and what color you want and what options you want, because you already know the price of the car. Now you're more focused on the car. And then when you go to look at the Nissan and the Honda and whatever else you're comparing it to, you're not comparing price, so to speak. You're like, what car do I want? Like, what car fits my family? What car rides better? What car looks better? What car has better technology? The problem with the price is everything gets mixed in now. And now you're just thinking, oh, well, that one's $20 less. I should go with that one, even though that might not be the one that you want. It's the age-old story. Like, and this has happened so many times with people. Like, literally, when I was there, you would get the feedback years later. The guy would go, do you want the sunroof or don't you want the sunroof? It's $20 more. Oh, you know what? I don't need the sunroof. And then 3 years later, come back and go, why didn't I just get the sunroof for fucking $20? Like, you're so focused on the money that you forget you're going to own the car. Like, just get what you want and stop worrying about $20. You spend that on lunch. You spend that, on dinner with your family, 10 times that on dinner with your family if you're going out.
Is that part of your pitch?
Yeah, of course. I mean, it's true because, I don't say anything that isn't true. Like, I would be the same way. When I go to buy something, like, I'm not thinking like I want the cheapest. I want what's best for me, right? I mean,
Not everyone thinks that way.
No, I know, and that's okay. Everybody's different. And,
Scarcity mindset.
and that's what you're pulling out of the consumer when you're talking to them. Do you care about price? Do you care about options? Do you care about colors? Do you care about luxury? Do you care about economy? Like, everybody's a different person, and you have to kind of not weave your way through it in the terms of fooling them, but you're trying to help them buy the car. Like I would say that all the time, you know, to some of the new guys. I'm like, listen, you just don't screw it up. Like just try to help them. And if you genuinely are, it becomes less about price and more about you and the service your dealership provides and what you're getting for your money. Or do you truly, if you buy something for $350 and you hate it, or you buy something for $400 and you love it, what's a better decision?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So you have to have that mentality. And it's, you know, all these things are just really just life in general. You just have to transition, you know, the person, the sale, the product into making sure it makes sense for that person. You know, that's what a professional does. A professional doesn't just talk somebody into the payment and sign the papers and see you later. Like I want you to be genuinely happy with me, the dealership, with the car, and it, you know, it builds trust and it builds relationships.
Number one, show them the ring now. That was the ring for what? 20 years of excellence at Hudson Cadillac?
20 years mark of excellence.
Sick.
It's a badass looking ring.
Yeah, it's a Super Bowl fucking ring.
First one that's ever done it. Probably, I don't know if anybody ever will, but it'll be pretty hard to beat. There's levels that you have to hit every year, which is training, sales, and then also CSI. It's all tied together. So you have to
What's CSI?
each level, customer satisfaction index.
Got it.
So, you know, they're rating you, you're getting your reviews, whatever. So you have to hit all of those within 1 year. And each year, you know, first year you do it, which was literally the first full year I was there, I got it. And then every year you qualify, you send a ring back, they put a new diamond in it, and so on and so on and so on. So for 20 years straight, every single year I sent it back and got a new diamond. So there's 18 because I left in the 20th year, and 1 year before that, he actually didn't sign me up for Mark of Excellence, even though I won it every single year. It just ended up having 18 in it, which was good because there's 14 in the middle. On the 15th year, I got a new ring, and they started around the outside of the ring because there's a new place to put them all. So now it's just symmetric. There's one diamond here, one diamond here, one diamond here, one diamond here, and 14 in the middle. So it would have kind of sucked if I hit 19 or 21 because it wouldn't look good. So now it looks symmetrically. It looks perfect.
I want to see that thing. Can I see that thing?
Everything happens for a reason. You're always where you're meant to be. That's my...
Before we go on to what happened when you quit and walked out of the dealership. Hold up. Before we happened with you quit and you walked out of the dealership, I want to go back to your point about helping people in sales. Because I just was saying this. Let me see it. I never look at it.
Actually, on the sides where it says GM, I want to get that black out done again. They did it in silver. I hated it, so I took it to a jeweler and he did the black background because it makes
the GM
everything else stand out. It makes the diamond stand out. It makes the GM stand out. So
that ring is what supported your household, bro.
Listen, it's not even fingers. So it's funny. This whole thing comes up. Like it's not even the jewelry itself that. It's the achievement part of it that you're proud of. It's not the ring itself. Thing of that ring,
right? Is correct. 20 years to get that ring.
Correct.
All right. Well, listen. I wanted to go back. Hold up. I wanted to go back now to helping people and how you can truly sell a product when you're trying to figure out, when you're trying to ask them questions and actually find out what they need. Like there's still such this stigma around sales. And like you can't fucking lie to people in sales anymore.
Correct.
There's no product on planet Earth that you can get away with lying to people. And for everyone who I talk to people all the time, I fucking hire, train, fire people every goddamn day. And I still hear people like, oh, I'm not a salesperson. If you have something that you love, you can sell it to anyone. Like if you try a new product that's a supplement product and all of a sudden you lose 20 pounds, you could sell that product without even trying and you don't even realize. You just think, oh, if I have to go sell somebody, then you won't be able to. Yeah, because you're probably trying to sell a product you don't like. So if you're in the sales game and you can't fucking sell, there's a good chance you don't even like the product you're selling. If you sell BMWs, not mine. If you sell BMWs and you drive a Honda to work, I just don't know what to tell you. I don't know what to tell you.
True.
Well, So I got news for you. We're all salespeople.
Everybody.
Period.
Yeah.
In life, you sell your kids on how you want to raise them. You sell the girl that you want to meet. You sell everything in life is some type of sales. It's an influence and it's a give and take in every part of your
is
life.
just a transfer of emotion.
Correct. So you've been in sales all your life, and sales has taught me some of the best life lessons, and I've met some of the most awesome, intelligent, spectacular, interesting people in sales. Like you don't meet somebody like that works in construction or works at Stop and Shop or works in a factory or works at IBM.
Salespeople are the best.
It's
Crazy as shit.
it's because we're all mental in the sense that we're a little crazy, but we're also all kind of, we really dig deep into the psychology of everything. Life, people, why we're here. Like, it's just a part
When
of.
you're selling a big ticket item, you're literally signing up to be like, I want to meet new people and convince them to buy something that's going to change their life forever.
Yeah.
I want to meet them and help them, make a decision that is ultimately going to change their life.
Yes, it really is. Like, and they said it all the time, and it's true. It's been proven a million times. They're not buying the product; they're buying you. Like to the point where, so when we go back and we talk about the dealership, and even in solar sales, like when you're sitting in front of somebody, you're the presentation. You are Plug PV, and you are solar. So the better you present it, the more they trust you, the more they understand it, and you show it to them in a way that makes sense to them versus what they're currently doing. They say yes. So, like, this blew my mind. So my boss would get mad at me because people would come in and ask for me, and he would say, well, I own a place, like I can help you. And they would go, I'll see you later. I'll call Glenn. I got his cell phone. Bye.
Oh, shit.
That made him mad. Why would that make you mad? I'm the person
Ego.
that is going to sell them a car no matter what, because they're not even going to talk to you. They're coming to me.
Yeah.
Glenn Dingee, that's where they're going to buy
It's
a car
ego,
from.
for sure.
Their son's going to buy a car for me. Their daughter's going to buy a car for me. Their friends at work are going to buy a car for me. Like, that's what you want me to do,
Right.
is to make sure that they are my clientele. They're my customers forever. And he would always say, they're my customers. And I think to myself, they're mine and you're profiting from it.
Right.
Like, why would you be mad at that?
Right.
I'm making
Homie's
20%.
lost.
You're making 80%. You should be happy that they're my customers. And you cannot be the only person in the dealership selling all the cars. You run it, you make the profit, and I sell the cars. Why would you be mad when I'm successful and people won't even go to another dealership? They're coming to buy a car from me.
How many managers do you think like that?
Too many.
Yeah.
Like, it really, there was so many little nuances in that as good as they were and as many lessons that they taught me, there was some of the stuff that was so stupid. Like, how could you not see that part of this business and how important that part of the business is? It was just like salespeople. Like I would always say, like, just don't screw it up. They came here to buy a car.
Yeah.
Like, if you just don't screw it up, you're going to get a sale.
Right.
Don't call the woman ma'am. If she's the one buying the car, listen to her. Don't talk to the husband. Like it's easy if you just listen and you pay attention and you actually said this a million times. Like, you actually care. If you actually care and you're trying to do the right thing by them, you're going to sell.
Signed.
Nice.
On the watch. Love it.
I know. I love when I get
Solograph
those
signed.
texts.
Nice. Perfect
Sale
timing.
made.
Wait, just let me see if I got one. No, shit. I'm waiting on a guy today or tomorrow.
Tell me, let's hear the story. So after 20 and a half years, you walked out of Hudson Cadillac because your son was making a shit ton of money.
Yep.
And you're like, fuck this. I want to sell solar panels.
Yeah. So
Tell the story.
Listen, there's so many things that happen at the same time. And again, I said it earlier, right? Everything happens for a reason. You're always where you're meant to be. You just listen to the universe and you kind of just let it flow the way it's supposed to flow, even though you don't think at the moment it makes sense. So it was the relationship with the Mulaney's it was just deteriorating slowly. I saw the whole culture of the sales department just getting worse. And
What can you attribute that to?
Probably one of the things is a son. The other thing is just not keeping your eye on the ball. Like you developed it. It's like anything. It's easy to get big. It's hard to stay big. Right? Like when you were the new guy on the block, when I joined, he was 4 years in the business. Like it was easy to grow over the next 15 years. You know, now everybody talks about that. Holy shit, Hudson's outselling that guy. He's outselling Calandri. He's outselling a guy in Kingston. Now they've got the great reputation. We've got all the inventory. We have, you know, we could pull favors. We can get 2 Yukons this month and 2 more Sierras than the other dealership couldn't get, you know. So, but once you get there, now you got to work 3 times as hard to stay there as opposed to what it was to get there. And it just, everybody kind of just lost the way about it. You know, it was, you know, slipping here, slipping there, you know, the son comes in. Now Mike's not in full control. You know, Matt's a little bit in control and now he's not around to see what this is going on here. And then, you know, you hire a couple bad salespeople, you hire one bad manager, and then all of a sudden it just, the cracks in the dam start to appear and nobody just, you know, it's like anything. When it happens slowly, you don't notice it.
Right.
When it happens all at once, you notice, you know,
the frog in the boiling water.
right. Or 3 years later, you look back and you go, holy shit, how did we lose 30%, you know, sales? Now we got to do something. So all that was kind of happening, plus the change in the market. And, you know, listen, even what happens in my life affects what happens there, right? Maybe it was partly me. Maybe like, you know, I didn't appreciate that they didn't appreciate me was the major thing. Like, when you are the soldier and you do everything you possibly can, not only to keep yourself afloat, but to keep the dealership afloat and to help everybody in the dealership and to make sure you're there early to clean off cars and just whatever. Like I would come in I was not getting paid. I would come in every morning early. I'd grab the keys to the cars that were out of place. I would go make sure they got back into place. If something needed to scrape this off or clean that off or get it to the, I just made notes of it and I just went and did it. When somebody came in the door, they said they needed help. You know, I could still I would watch it and it just blows my mind. Somebody come in and go, oh, you know, my Bluetooth isn't working. Oh, go to service. No, I'm sorry. What was that? Let me see. Let me see if I can help. Let me walk out to why didn't you just ask the guy what was wrong? Maybe it was a 2-minute fix. Maybe you just had to sit in a car and find out that it needed to be reprogrammed or to unpair it and pair it back again. Or was it really a problem with the car? But, you know, I would never think to just go to service.
Yeah.
Like that's a terrible interaction.
I feel like that's a generational thing too.
It is. It's just like people
like back in the day when somebody asked for something, you try to help them.
Right. So anyway, saying all that, it's just starting to get like, I go into work and I want to punch everybody. Like literally the entire dealership, like everybody, leave me alone. I'm going to go in, I'm going to sell my cars and I'm going to go home. Like this isn't fun anymore. I don't enjoy it anymore. Like it's crazy. The biggest bum in the store that didn't do anything, that was never there, that had like 3 sales a month if he was lucky or 5 or whatever. He'd come in and Mike, hey, how you doing, buddy? How's things? What'd you do yet? And I would walk by and go, hey, I'm only your fucking number one guy for 20 years. Can you at least
give some
say nice things to me?
Right.
Like just say hello and smile at me when I walked in. You don't have to rub my penis. Just say hi and make me feel good.
Rub my penis.
Like that's what I'm telling you. Like the disrespect and the just no admiration, no appreciation, nothing. So
yeah, that
literally
sucks.
I was like, but then again, what do? I'm married. I have kids. I'm just going to walk out and not make any money. So you're going into work every day with your blinders on, but you're also like, I'm stuck here.
Yeah.
Like, why? So, okay, fast forward now. This guy's out there killing it in solar. In the back of my mind, I know solar's a good thing because I'm hearing everything that he's talking about. When he's talking to a client, I'm going, I even said to him, I tell this story all the time, right? I'm like, do people tell you no?
Right.
I
remember
mean,
hearing that.
This
Like,
is
why
like
would they?
I've never heard such a good product. And then, right after that, it's like, sit down and put solar on my house. Like, who would want to be married to Central Hudson? Like, there's no.
So you became a customer before you became.
Correct.
Wow.
Correct. So now I'm also seeing.
Sold his own dad.
the
How much
light
was
at
that
the-
commission check?
$0.
Zero. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, that's a G thing.
I know the floor price.
He knows what it was at. He can calculate it.
Yep. So, anyway, now just everything that was happening. It was the middle of COVID. I'm in the middle of a divorce. I hate what I'm doing. I see the kind of like, I see him blooming. I see that the business is good. I see that the company is good. Just like now I'm getting in again, just like I did with Hudson. I thought that was a great idea coming in at the beginning, so I'm seeing us at the bottom of this wave that we're going to ride. So like everything made sense. And listen, my life's a complete mess anyway. Like it's a disaster. So I was already out knocking with him. He was already teaching me how to do it. I think we had gotten a sale. I think peak was already on paper.
Yep.
It was sometime right around the spring of 20, right?
All right.
Yeah, March 20. Yeah, because that's when I left, March of 2020.
No,
So-
you left in November of 2019.
That's right, November 2019, right. So I was already working, and I had already...
all that going on, and you decided to knock doors in the winter.
Well, so
Damn.
that was March of 2020. Now I remember. That's when I wanted to start. So I was already training, and I already knew like all I want to do is get through car sales into March, and then I'll go full time with Zach. In fact, funny thing is, I was thinking of the best ways I could quit to like give them the biggest FU. Like, how am I going to, I was like designing a way that I could quit and like have it a scene. So anyway, come November 23rd, I think it was, it's in my phone, but I think it was November 23rd. And, I'm helping a girl out the day before this is just a snippet of like what really was happening at Hudson. I'm sitting at my desk. The girl's right over there. She's new. She's probably within a year. And she wasn't really good at what she was doing. Like some people just catch on, some people don't. She was taking a while to really get her feet about her. So I watched it. She went to one manager who's doing nothing, doesn't want to help her, sends her to another manager who's doing nothing, doesn't want to come over. She's in the middle of a sale. Customer is at her desk.
Oh my God.
The second
What's her
manager, God, I just was down there the other day too. I want to say Crystal, but it's not. I can't remember at the moment.
I'll tell you what it is.
So anyway, now I see her go to John, who's the finance guy, who doesn't even close deals. Like he's not a manager in terms of like being able to help her in that particular situation. So John's office was right there. I saw her walk right in front of my desk, and I said, "Darling, do you need help?" She's like, "Yes, thank you." I was like, "Okay, cool." I go over there. I talk to the guy. It ends up I know his son. I used to work with him at TJ. So put the sale together, wrapped up the paperwork, got him in the office. He comes back the next day to pick up the car. So as he's outside, I walked up to him. "Hey, how you doing, Mr. So-and-so? Great car, like beautiful. We got it all wrapped up for you. I hope you enjoy it. Just want to come out and say, congratulations and good luck on everything." And he looks right at me. He goes, "I'm not taking the car unless you give me a trailer hitch." And I was like, "I'm not a manager here. Like, I can't help you." "Well, your name says on this paper right here that you're a manager on this finance thing." I said, "That's just," they had to put my name there so I had access to the program to run you this type of quote. "You're the manager." I said, "Listen, I cannot help you. I will go inside and try to get somebody to help you. But I can't, like, how bad would it be if I told you it was $500 more today than it was yesterday? You're coming and telling me that I need to give you $500. That's not fair.
Right.
You know, and he didn't like that
you
example.
made a perfect point.
Right. Like that's how people get, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's just common. This happens all the time in the car business where like deals just blow up. So anyway, I go, listen, and he starts stomping away. So I said, listen, let me go inside and talk to Matt.
What
He's
kind
already
of an
won it.
asshole?
Complete asshole. Like complete asshole. But that's what you dealt with all the time. I mean, not all, obviously 70 or 80% of people were good, but 10 or 20% that's what you had to deal with. So I go inside, I grab Matt really quick while the guy's walking around the building because I want Matt, who's the son and supposed to be, you know, this amazing guy. Like, you run a dealership, here you go. This is
right.
You're up, baby.
This has
Let's see
been
what you can do.
Right.
You're the man. So anyway, he goes out to talk to the guy. And obviously, like, see, that's another thing that I always argued about. Like, why win the battle and lose the war? Like, even in that sense, I would have brought the guy in and said, listen, I'll just give you the thing, okay? Like, don't worry. Come sit at my desk. I'll get you the thing, you know, and I'm going to give you 2 oil changes too. No, instead, he goes out and fights with the guy. And what happens is, guy gets in his car and leaves.
No sale. Over because he wants free shit.
It probably would have cost the dealership $200 to put a trailer hitch on, like real wholesale cost at the end of the day.
Yeah.
$200.
Yeah.
And you sell a car and make a profit. You don't see the forest through the trees. You cut off your nose to spite your face.
Right.
Like, why not make the sale, lose the 200, make the guy happy and get 3 referrals? Like, they didn't think like that. No, I have so many stories, but anyway. Matt turns around and comes back in after the guy drives away. Like, I'm sitting there watching it. You could even see like the mannerisms between people when even though you don't see the words coming out of their mouth, you're like watching the scene through the glass in the showroom. So I was like, oh, that didn't end good.
Shit.
So anyway, Matt comes in and literally stands right next to me and says to the entire showroom, like announces it, like, listen up, everybody. Don't go to Glenn for TOs. Don't go to Glenn for leases. Don't go to Glenn. And I was like, dude, my face was so beat red. Like, I wanted to rip his head off, like literally separate his head from his body. So I took a breath. I literally put my jacket on, grabbed my backpack, the one I always carry around with me. So I had almost the same one, slipped in my computer, stood up. I turned towards him and he looked at me and he goes, where are you going? I went, fuck you. And I turned around and walked out. Like, I said it loud because, like, obviously I was pissed out of my mind. The whole showroom just stopped and like looked at me. I just kind of gazed around and watched everybody. And sure enough, Mike's comes running out of the office because he heard me say it to Dad.
Yeah.
Right. So now I'm heading out to the back of the dealership to jump in the dealer car because I was the only salesperson that had a dealer car. And Mike is chasing me out the back. Glenn. And I'm just walking dead straight, just walking towards my car. I'm getting out of here. Again, his car, but the car I was driving. I get to the car. I'm putting my stuff in. I'm like bent over. I'm about to get into the car. And he said a couple things. I don't even really remember what he said. But the last thing he said to me was, well, if you're not going to work for me, then you don't need my car. So I kind of paused, like I was like in the car and I went, ugh. And I stood up and I turned around and I went, fuck you too. And this is verbatim.
This is a movie.
Verbatim. I walked down to the curb and I called Olivia. I said, come get me. She was driving my Acadia at the time because I was, driving the dealer car. I said, come get me. She was like, Dad, what happened? I was like, I just quit, Hudson. I think I'm working for Zach as of tomorrow morning.
It's official.
Done.
God.
And that was literally.
I love that story.
It was. And so going back to what I said before, right? I'm thinking in my mind, how am I going to design like the best way to leave? Like that was it. Like just off
you didn't
the
have
cuff,
anything in your
legendary.
desk you needed to grab her.
Well, there's a little more than that, right? So now I'm sitting on the curb and I'm waiting for her to come. Remember I told you they hold your money for like 3 months?
Yeah.
Well, I had like $3-4 grand in the bank and they're going to reset all my passwords. I'm sitting at the curb, like not at the curb down by Route 9. Now I had walked back up to the dealership. I pulled out my thing and now I'm on my laptop. Now I'm transferring my money and Matt is sitting next to me going, Glenn, listen, let's talk about this, blah, blah, blah. I'm literally typing as fast as I can, like, transfer. And as soon as it like went through, like the spinning wheel goes through and it's like locked in, I closed the laptop. I put my bag down. I walked inside. I grabbed like one of those big garbage bags, and dude, I just literally opened my drawers and started just throwing my fucking shit in like violently because you're in that mood. So you're like, nobody's like, it was funny because if like Mike Graff came up to me, one of my buddies or anybody else, and be like, Glenn, man, sorry to hear that. But I would have sat there and talked to him. But everybody's like,
Just sitting back.
don't go near him.
Right.
Like, because he's, So I think back on that, and I'm thinking, why didn't anybody? But now I guess I know why nobody like came up and said anything.
Yeah, they didn't know if you were gonna lay them out.
Right. I literally just threw everything I really wanted. There was a bunch of shit in there. You just clean my stuff. I didn't care. I just grabbed the stuff that I wanted. I like the Grinch. I just wrapped it like this and I just drug it out of the dealership and sat right on the curb. Olivia pulled up. I threw my bag in the car. I threw the garbage bag in the back of the truck. And
tell me about that feeling.
drove away.
Tell me how you feel though. Did you feel like a weight off your shoulders?
it was very mixed. So
Because you're scared too. You just gave up your main source of income.
a little bit, but listen, the fact that I had already, like if I didn't already start training with Zach and then if I already didn't have a deal written with Peak and like I had a couple things in the hopper, oh yeah, it would have been a totally different mentality there. There probably would have been a lot more like, what the fuck did I just do?
Turn the mic up a little bit towards
Okay.
you. There you go.
So, it wasn't really like that though. It was kind of like, first of all, it was like, God, that felt great. Like, and
10 years in the making.
right. And I'm like excited to like go on to this new adventure. And like I said, everything else that was going on in my life, it was like, who gives a fuck?
Bring
like,
it.
I'm just
Bring it.
like, let's go. Like,
Yeah.
let's just do something new. Let's get out of this rut and like, let's move on with our lives. It's like rip the Band-Aid off, So it was,
Let's define the moment a little bit. You had made no money from solar yet, right? You still had a family to feed. Like,
He
take
said
me to
he
your
had something in
emotions.
the hopper.
well, listen.
Yeah, but he didn't make any dollars yet.
Yeah, but listen, I also am very good with my money. I had money put away. Like, I wasn't stressing. It wasn't like I'm going to go home and I can't pay a bill at the end of the month. I could have survived for 2, 3, 4, 5 months without making anything.
You mean poor Zach, you never had to eat ramen noodles?
Nope. I always provided for my kids. It's, listen, it's like anything. The best thing in life is for you to have your back against the wall. Like you. Listen, now that you have a kid, the whole mentality of your life is going to change. And it was one of the best things that ever happened to me. So
Burn the bridge.
Zach, how did you feel at that moment, Zach? Were you scared at all? Or?
No, I was lit. I was excited because I knew he had hated the dealership for so long. And then I knew he was going to be in sales. And I don't know. I think it's pretty damn cool to work with your dad.
You weren't even manager yet?
No, I was starting to be the manager, yeah. I was
that
like the
point?
named manager, yeah.
Well, I always think back, and I don't even know if you have the timeline, but I think there was only maybe 3 of us. Like,
Oh, yeah,
I
there
think
was nobody.
Noel and
Cameron, another kid, Joe Fichera.
I think Cameron came after me. I think Joe Fichera came after me.
Yeah.
There was only like really 2,
I
maybe
was just
3.
starting to be a manager.
I know you were.
Yeah, I was just barely a
You
manager.
were doing well. Like you had already had a couple of years. You had some money in the bank. You had things flowing.
Yeah, I was
but
selling.
like you just started to hire people. And
Correct.
I remember doing it in Abe's office and, we were just
Crazy.
like
In Abe's
bringing
office.
tables from my house, 20
Yeah,
year
we
old
brought the
tables.
fucking plastic table and I went and bought a Dollar Tree green cover for it and laid it over. And we had all mismatched chairs around the office
That's fucking
when you started.
hilarious.
Yep.
So-
Things have changed.
But so, like, getting back to the emotion that Bryce asked about, like, it was a little sad. It was a little scary. But it was also, like, kind of exciting, too, because, like, I knew I was in sales. I knew I could do sales. I knew this was a good business. I knew this was a good company. Like, now you just got to go through the process of learning it all again. So I had told him this. I don't know if he actually remembers. Listen, my biggest... I don't know, say concern, I guess, like, was starting over. Like, I hate to be the new guy that has to learn everything and has to ask people and has to come looking
20
for help,
years.
right?
Yeah.
Like, 20 years, like, people came to me for everything. Like,
Yeah.
Glenn, what do I do about this? With this truck, what does it have? What's the gear? Where do I find this? How do I get this fixed? Like, how do you do this financing? Whatever, So, like, being that guy that just knew nothing and just had to now, like,
Well, you got through that quick.
rebuild.
No, he didn't.
No, I didn't.
He
dude.
wanted
I
to know
had-
everything
but
too when he got hired.
Yeah, but still, first year you made Cadillac money. right? Your first year in
By
sales.
the end of the year, I had a really tough time getting started. So wait,
Talking about made Cadillac money, or you made enough money to match
Cadillac.
What do you mean?
yes, I did. The first year, I virtually matched what I made. Yes, but
In training.
and he knows the story too. So right off the bat, listen, this all ties together. It's crazy how you like. I can just sit here and dissect everything the way it happened. So I could still remember this, and I bet you I could find a video. The next morning, I was outside of my house. I was feeling some emotions, so I went on Facebook and like gave a little speech, I guess, let's say, or whatever, about what happened. Hey, I left the Cadillac and, I appreciate everybody I worked with, wasn't on good terms, but I loved all my clientele. I'm really going to miss you guys, blah, blah, blah. And I did this whole like 5-minute thing, right? Well, out of that, I ended up getting 3 or 4 people that wanted solar.
Shut up.
Like they literally saw that. And like, so I sold 4 of them right off the bat.
Damn.
Boom. And I'm like, I'm going to kill this. And dude, I hit a brick wall.
Oh, shit.
I did nothing for the next 4 months to get my teeth kicked in.
That's exactly where you needed
I
to be.
wasn't good on the doors. I just happened to have, but again, it all kind of it was just enough to help to like hold me by the thread. So, okay, now I got money coming in. I got deals in the hopper and now I'm out knocking. I'm not doing anything, but at least like I'm not starving.
Right.
And then just around the time, like I started to learn, I started to get a deal here. I started to get a deal there. Now I have some money coming in and, it started to work its way out where I started getting, enough that I could support myself now 12 months later. But the first 4 or 5 months were hell. bro.
Cancel Rama.
Yeah,
Oof,
all
like-
cancels, and you don't get paid until it gets to the roof. Which once you finally sign a deal in solar, you don't make a fucking dollar.
Right.
You got to wait 3 months to actually see anything.
Yeah, you get your
That's right.
deposit money, you get your permit money, which that wasn't a week's paycheck for me, and that was over,
no.
3 months, time frame. So, but it's again, it's just funny how it all plays out. So, all of that was the worst time of my life. Like, the divorce was ready to happen, and she was gone, and then. Now I'm getting my teeth kicked in and I don't really have money coming in and the savings is dwindling down. And like that was that December, if I'm not mistaken, December, maybe January was like, dude, I had hit absolute rock bottom. He could even tell you, because I think, if I'm not mistaken, you tell me, did you have Jill come down and talk to me and ride with me because you knew my mentality was like,
Yeah,
done.
of course.
Dude,
Yeah.
I mean, I was
Bro, I
literally
knew it.
moping.
I saw it with fucking people on my sales team. I already had seen people like fail and start to fail, and I knew what it was like. And then obviously I'm living with you, and I'm like, no, I know all the stuff you're going through at the time. And I'm like, Jill, you got to come talk to my dad because he ain't going to listen to me, and I can't fucking tell him what to do. So I had to have my regional or my sales director come down and talk to you. But yes.
I think I remember it was like when I was just getting into sales and we had a meeting because the cancellation rate was so high.
Yeah, the
And
highest cancellation rate in plug PV history.
We had the highest cancellation rate, our team. And you were in the meeting going, it's me. It's all me.
No.
You're like, it's because of me.
If you remember, Jill said, he said something like, I want to congratulate Glenn, or I want to give him, like he's getting a prize or something. And it was for having the highest cancellation rate ever in plug B. So it was like he set it up like it was something. And then it was like a hard dig at me.
Oh, yeah.
Like right in the meeting. And I went, yep, my fucking fault. Like I'll fix it.
Yeah, maybe
Like,
that's how
I get
it went.
That's exactly
Yeah.
how it went.
Yeah.
And I don't know
Yeah.
what I said, but I said something where
Well, I
I
remember.
accepted that it was my fault. And hey, I'm going to change it somehow.
I remember after that quarterly meeting, we went to the lowest cancellation rate of any solar company.
Correct.
Like
Yeah,
a
because
quarter
then you-
later.
Right.
Because we all focused up on it and fucking fixed it.
Well, we also saw it. So when you see it and it becomes apparent, now you start,
You can track it,
finding
you
ways,
can improve it.
Right. You guys
Something
finding
like
ways to
that.
improve it. But anyway, that was really, truly like, I'm a pretty happy guy, and, I can keep my focus and I can keep my, morale up. But I had gotten to the point too where I couldn't get out of my way. I was so miserable, man. I could not see the light at the end of the tunnel.
You were on the solar coaster.
Oh God, it was so bad. So anyway, like just to add, like everything piled on, and it's the middle of the winter, and I can't sell anything, and I just got divorced, and like, you couldn't have thrown more shit at one human being. Like I was 2 steps from fucking jumping off the bridge.
I heard 2 years ago you had long hair. And it all fell out.
No, that was way before that. When I started having kids and working in the car business, that's when that all went.
Yeah, bro, I got the
Shit.
grays and all my shit coming in from you.
Yeah, and part
You
of
got
it
the
was
bad
hereditary.
genes.
Yeah. So
Fucked
anyway,
me up, and I started running a sales team. So
that day, Jill, like I've got emotional about it before when I talked about it, but that day, Jill came down and sat with me. Like we didn't even do anything at that point. We met at 7-Eleven on Hooker Avenue. I got in his car and he just sat there and talked to me for 10 minutes. And the guy, everybody knows he's a fucking genius, like genius. He just said the right words to me and shared a story with me that I cannot repeat to this day. And he swore to me that, I swore to him that I wouldn't because he wanted me to, but it set the tone for me. Like it just flipped my switch where I just realized like, he's fucking right. Just get out there, hammer it, change your personality, change what you're doing. And you can do this and just like stop being miserable and just go find a way to do it. And as the story goes, he just said, simplify it. Just go up and ask people if you want to hear about solar, whatever. He pulled out, he literally went 10 houses down. He goes, that's a great house. I still remember the girl's name. I still remember the girl's house. I got out, walked up to the door, knocked on the door, blah, blah, blah. Walked back in the car 10 seconds later, and Jill goes, oh, she didn't want it. I go, no, I got an appointment tomorrow.
Yeah. It's always magic with Jill.
And it was like
fucking magic.
Like literally like that.
I had the same thing with Jill.
And from that day forward, I just slowly, every day, I got a little better. I got one more deal, got a little more confident. It's just
Same thing happened. I went on a 2-month rut and I was miserable. New in sales. I had probably 3 sales under my belt and I couldn't even talk to people at the door. I wanted to kill everyone. I fucking hated it. And Jill's like, what the fuck's wrong with you? You were the happiest person ever before you started.
Right.
And now you're a miserable prick. Like, this can't happen. He took me into Kingston. We knocked for like 2 hours. And I don't know what the fuck he did. I think it's just
magic.
his big smile.
He's magic.
He's like fucking Santa Claus.
Dude, he has this thing where he really just knows how to dig into somebody's deepest, darkest part of their psyche and just
flip the switch.
Fucking fix it. It was crazy.
How much harder was it to learn solar than to start selling solar than to start selling cars?
Oh, God, yeah. Just worlds, universes different. Like,
what, solar's harder or cars?
Oh, solar by far.
Really?
Cars, I almost picked up immediately. Listen, I'm sorry.
Good thing I never
6
sold
or 7
else.
months into the business, I had outsold a guy that was the legend at Hudson Cadillac, Frank Lomangino. We walked in that Saturday morning meeting and up on the board was GD. Everything was always initials. And it was like one more car than his. I don't remember the numbers. I actually used to keep them all. I think I finally threw them away. I might have it upstairs still. But like the meeting was like different. Like, first of all, I'm sitting in the back of the meeting like, yeah, motherfuckers, who's the man now?
Yeah.
But like Frank ended up quitting. He went on a cocaine fucking drinking binge and 2 months later he was out of the business.
You ruined his life.
So like literally like that's
no shit.
Think about that. When there's a guy he's like the man and then you come in and just fucking kick him off his stool, it changes people. So but from that day on, that was it.
Quick break. Can I tinkle? I got to take a pee-pee break. It was great. How was your pee? Good pee?
Oh,
10 out
my
of 10?
pee's always a struggle.
Really?
I got the old man pee.
Is that? I don't understand what that's like.
Yeah, well, you might someday, and trust me. It's
I
not
hope you
fun.
do someday.
I think I'm going to have the opposite. I think I'll piss myself when I'm older. I got a bad habit of sharting already.
Do you really?
I'm a little too trustworthy with my butthole. I just let that guy fly all the time. And sometimes he's like, gotcha, bitch. Go change your underpants and walk in shame.
Your underpants. I haven't heard that one in a while.
Yeah, that's how my asshole
Go
talks.
change your
He's
underpants.
he's a real asshole.
Tony, when's the last time you had to change your underwear because you shit yourself?
It couldn't have been 3 weeks ago.
Stop it.
Dude, never.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
That's
It's
an
always
issue.
after a weekend of drinking alcohol, and I'll be driving, having a great day, and I'm like, ooh, I got to fart. Oh! and then I gotta go home.
I don't feel so bad about my
What
bladder
in the
issue
world,
anymore,
bro?
'cause that-
Don't worry.
You're a sick animal.
You'll be 31 once.
You're a sick animal.
Listen,
People, that's
dude.
normal for you to turn 30 and shit yourself?
I don't.
Bryce, have you ever
it's not-
shit yourself?
Wait a second.
No.
Let's make this clear. It's not like a shitting
No,
yourself.
it's shit.
You just
What is
you
on
just
your underwear?
Fart.
What is on your
A
underwear?
lot of times it doesn't even breach the crack. It just breaks the hole. So you get in the bathroom, you
This
assess.
is a strange conversation.
You never shit yourself?
Welcome to Two Dudes,
No,
Two
I
Dice
mean,
Stone.
yeah, it's in my lifetime. I'm sure it's happened once or twice. Yes.
Well, I got nice thicky cheeks.
But not like it's
So
a
it-
common occurrence.
it
I mean,
holds it.
everybody had once.
Make
or
my
twice.
way to the bathroom. I assess. Sometimes I don't even have to change my undies.
Tony, sometimes you change Gigi, then you change yourself too, right?
One moment, baby. Daddy's going to change his diaper
As
first.
long as I'm not changing my boxers as much as I'm changing her, I'm good.
You're good to go.
Hold on, Tony. How often do you shit and it's diarrhea?
Very rarely.
I
I don't really have diarrhea.
This
often.
guy- so
I
you know
take
there's people who
super
shit diarrhea every day.
Yes.
I
yes.
take super
liquid shits all the time.
healthy, fibrous turdies.
Fiber.
Sometimes I do the no wiper. I'm so proud of myself.
Oh, gotta love it when you wipe.
I call
nothing
that
comes
all
out.
business, no
Yes.
paperwork.
That's like a win. That's a win.
Wait,
All business, no paperwork.
Zach, tell him about
That's right.
Tony's bathroom habits.
Oh, you mean my bidet?
Just-
Oh, you mean that I gotta go tinkle and take a poopy all the time?
yeah.
Yeah, there's
you
something
always gotta go.
hyperactive about my bowels. If I'm not pissing or shitting, I ain't breathing.
Once in the morning. It's a
What?
Tony,
like steady Eddie, dude. Once a morning.
You just poop once a morning?
Yeah, I know. It's crazy, right?
I poop twice a morning. Then I do my pre-poop lunch, my pre-lunch poop, after lunch poop.
How did we get on this
I
subject?
operate on what's called displacement.
I want to see
I
this
put
on
stuff
a, on,
in
a,
here
on a short
and
on
shit comes out of
Instagram.
here. Always. If I put in, it comes out. I drink, I piss, I eat, I shit.
Wow. Well, you have a
You're
very
efficient.
active.
Yeah. If
How
I
many
breathe,
probiotics you got
if
in
I
there?
breathe too
Bladder
hard, I
system.
fart immediately. Sometimes I shart. This is life, guys.
All right.
Funny. So wait, I have a
get
good
back.
I have a good story about sales. Actually, I wanted to say it before we got caught up with something. So the mentality of people is really insane. My best customer by far, guy bought it was probably a 19-year run because I met him very early in my career. And he probably bought a car almost every year. So
Wow.
he was in the 15 to 18 range in terms of cars he bought between him and his wife. Trucks for him and whatever else for his wife at the time. So it was not long before I had left the dealership and we were having a conversation either face to face or on the phone. I don't remember. And he still said to me that far in our relationship, like you're just a car salesman. And
Just
I thought
a car salesman?
do you really think after this entire time of our relationship that I'm like lying to you this whole time? Like not just one or two, but the entire relationship. I just completely lied to you every time we spoke and I opened my mouth. Like that's what people think, man.
That's
Like, think
crazy.
about that.
So
It's-
wait. What was give us some context of that?
I don't
He
remember
just like
what
said
it
to you,
was.
you're
but he
just a car salesman?
Yeah, like whatever I was saying, he literally didn't believe to the point where he thought I was like lying to him. Like I'm like, dude, you don't know me
Why
by
did-
now? Like I don't fucking lie to anybody.
There's
Like,
a
what are you
major
talking
stigma
about?
around these car salesmen.
Monster. Like you have no idea until you've like experienced that.
And I feel like it
In
makes
real
car
life.
salesmen want to do it because it's like you keep fucking telling me, good, I will fuck you over now.
Yeah. Well,
Well, you couldn't even if you wanted to. You can't just up the price on a vehicle.
I mean, he was a good customer in a sense that he didn't argue with me and he always let me make money, which is fair. That's how everybody should be. Like, I'm just here to make a living and pay my bills just like you are. Like, I don't come into your house and tell you how much your paycheck should be.
Yeah.
Right?
You know, I don't negotiate shit because of that now. I
Right.
swear it's because I always heard you saying it when I was younger, and I never negotiate now, ever. I don't fucking ask for shit from anybody. I'm like, okay,
What
cool.
can you buy that
I'll
you
sell.
are supposed to negotiate?
I don't know. I went and bought a fucking quad. When I went and bought the quad, he said, whatever, 9,800. I said, okay. I didn't even ask for a better price. I didn't ask for, when I bought the M3.
Yeah, I almost
same
think
thing.
it's like disrespectful. Like, I might ask for, but I'm not like going to sit there and call you 25 times and hammer you for, 50 cents. Like, it's pitiful. Like,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm the jerk for even doing it. Like,
I get that. I've never, if I see a price and I don't want it for that price, I'm not going to haggle.
Like, you walk away,
I'm just
yeah.
not going to buy it.
right?
Like when people, I always, I went through a fucking ton of cars. Like I always remember my M5 that I had, and I had it for sale, and I had it for $12,500, which was super reasonable. Some guy came and saw it, and he like picked it apart, and he's like, well, there's this and this and this and this, and I go, that's why it's $12,500.
Right. Like, priced
Do you want it or
appropriately.
not?
Right.
And he kept trying to talk me down. I'm like, dude, nothing you say is going to change the price. Do you want it or not?
Right. Like, go now.
Right.
Bye.
And he keeps telling me all the things that are wrong with it. I'm like, yeah, it's a used car.
Right.
That's why it's $12,500.
Yeah,
Do you want it or not?
It's funny. The guy that came in with the absolute garbage can of a car will sit there and say, oh, this has got a little ding on the door.
Yeah,
There's
like,
a little scratch in the front. And, you should
You
save
did
it."
used there
I'm
as
like,
well?
Dude, you came in with a literal garbage can. Like, you have garbage in the back of your car. I mean, why? What are you kidding me?
Like
Like,
garbage man in his garbage can. I
clean.
forgot that was
Funny.
GMC and Buick as well. You were selling
Cadillac,
GMC.
Buick, GMC.
You were selling Buicks and GMCs?
It was kind of cool the way, because dealerships do it like used guys just do used cars, new guys just do new cars type of thing. But they had two things that was pretty unique. They had an open floor, so there wasn't an up system, because a lot of people like, to be fair, it's you go down a list. Glenn's next, then Mike's next, and then Sam's next, and then Cliff's next, and then, so on and so forth.
And even with that,
They
you were
had an open-
outselling everyone.
But they had an open floor, so I could take as many clients as I wanted. If somebody was out in dude, I'm telling you, I'd watch the person and I'd look around the showroom and people would just like, the salesman would just look at them and like,
Yeah, like
There's
ignoring.
there's a customer over there. You don't want to go? Okay, good. I'll go talk to him. See ya.
Yeah.
Like I almost wanted to be fair. Like I don't want to be the guy running out taking everybody. But then you look around and four people like
Shelly.
disappear and
Was
run
her
to
name-
the back.
was her name
Oh,
Shelley?
She's a meatball.
Was that the lady you were talking about?
It's something like that. Yeah.
Shelly. Yeah, I
Right.
met her.
I mean, I've only met
Why'd
her
you-
twice, so I don't know.
You
her.
went
I
in there?
went there. That's
Oh.
where I took.
He was going to buy
Oh,
the
that's where you
Escalade
bought-
first.
That's
That's
where
where
you
I
bought your
took Michaela to
Cadillac.
get in there.
Where did you eventually
Ah.
get the XT6? From where?
From my uncle. He
Oh, gotcha.
We went to Cadillac.
Better way to do it anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I crushed it. I got that thing for such a good price.
Yep.
All
You're
right.
paying for everything at the dealership. You're paying for they put $1,500 in service. They put a warranty on it, and, certified, the whole 9 yards. So you're just paying for all that. If it's a decent car, change the oil, give it to me. When I need to do the brakes, I'll do the brakes. I'll do the tires. I'll do whatever. Like it's.
All right. Fuck the cars. I'm done with it. I don't want to
Yeah,
talk
me
about cars
too.
anymore.
Bye bye.
You got in a car. You got into solar. You matched how much you made in cars in over 20 years. The most you ever made. You did that your first year in solar.
Yeah, pretty much within like 10 grand. Yeah.
How much did you do? You don't have to say the number, but second year did it double?
Oh, tripled.
Tripled.
Yep.
Second year in solar, you tripled what you did in 21 years.
Yep.
In the car business.
Yep.
Wow.
Yep. It was kind of funny because the first couple of years I like notched up. I went to 50, then I went to 75, then I went to 90, and then I went over 100. And I'm like, man, this is the shit. And I kind of stayed
Plateau.
right there in that, 110 to 120, 130 range for like 15 years straight. And it just never went above that. So it's like you almost can. It's
And 2 years into a brand new fucking product, you made triple that.
triple that. Yep.
I got a
Great
tip
industry.
for everyone. Go sell solar panels.
That's right.
Do you
They're
miss
great.
Cadillac?
Wow, what a world of difference, honestly. Everything about it.
You
is
should
different.
go there.
Explain to me what is life like now?
Yeah, I mean, like fun. It's like as much as there is stress, there's so much
I
flexibility.
think you're starting to grow your hair back, actually.
Yeah, I wish.
Yeah, that's funny.
Fucking wish.
You should go buy a CT4 Blackwing cash.
Drop
Walk
it
in.
off.
At the dealership?
Yeah.
I'll fucking
Walk
split it
in.
with you. We'll go walk in and
Yeah,
drop
but
the
wait,
bag.
I am never giving them a penny of
Use
my
your
money.
old login and
I
sell
would
it to
go buy
yourself
from somebody else and then drive it there and go.
for service.
Yeah.
Bring it in for a free oil
No,
change.
I just drive it there, get out, go in and bullshit with the guys like I always do, and they'd be like, "Oh, there's a Cadillac CT5.
Right, we're pulling up in a
Oh, you
Lambo
do
in a
stop
year or
by
so.
over there?
Oh, I still talk to the guys. Yes. Listen, interestingly enough, I'm still waiting for the moment when I can capture Matt and Mike in the showroom and just fucking run up and down one.
Imagine-
Why? What do they
Imagine
hide when you
see
get
him,
there?
You walk in and you see him, and you just one more time you go, "Hey guys, fuck you."
Yeah. No, I'm going to give them like I've already got it all worked out, a full speech.
Oh yeah.
Like, yeah, they're gonna hear it from me.
So wait, you've
that's
never-
gonna be my last final
Big-
rub.
When you go in there, you make sure they're not there. You
Well,
go in
no,
the days
I don't
off?
give a fuck if they're there or not. I just go in there like I still own the place. But
Oh, okay.
Mike is usually never there, or he isn't in the showroom, or if Matt's there, he's not in the showroom, or if he does, he just walks right fucking by. And like, I'm not saying hi to you, don't say hi to me. And like, I think twice, and all the time I went back, he said hi to me, and I just went, yeah.
You got to imagine their sales suffered once you left.
Well,
It was
there's
COVID.
no doubt they lost the clientele, but they didn't feel it because COVID came along, and now
Yeah, but wasn't COVID
you could sell
excellent for
50
car sales?
cars. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. They could
Oh,
sell
oh,
50
oh,
cars
oh.
instead of 100 cars and still make twice the
You
amount
must
of
have
money.
been
So-
pissed when you left.
dude, you listen, I care so little about what happens
Yeah, yeah.
anymore. Like, I don't wish anything bad on them in that sense. Like, I hope everybody there, all my friends do good and everything survives. But like, I don't wish them bad. It's
Right.
just, I moved on. Like, I'm just so happy I'm not there anymore that I just don't care.
So what is the differences? What does your schedule look like? What do you do on a daily basis now?
Yeah. So again, it's you're your own subcontractor, you're your own employee, your own 1099.
Give me the hours. What you used to work at car sales? Where do you work now?
60 hours a week, and now I'm down to 30 maybe. You know, I mean,
Half
a
the
lot of
hours,
running
triple
around.
the money.
Yeah.
Here's
I
your
mean,
dad's day. He wakes up, he takes his one shit a day. He goes, he plays fucking 8 holes,
No,
Nine
grabs
holes.
lunch,
I run.
9 holes.
I
know
run. I
nothing
run
about golf.
first thing. I sit in my bed for about half an hour, 45 minutes, drink my coffee. Then I go out for my run. Then I do my after run thought for the day if I got something good. Then I go inside. If there's meetings, I got to get to the meetings. If not, you know, I do some work on a computer, read a book, you know, whatever. I'm not normally out of the house unless I have an appointment until noon. And then, you know, a couple days a week, I do some knocking. The rest of the time I'm running appointments, or if I want to go on vacation, I go on vacation. If I want to take 3 days off, I take 3 days off. I was in Florida virtually the entire winter. I was, you know, working and trying to build a team, but like, I was in Florida,
Yeah.
like not in Poughkeepsie, not getting snowed on, not growing,
The best job in the world.
waking up. Oh, just there's not even close. Like, and you listen, we talk about it all the time, right? We're in our meetings, we tell kids like he has no idea. Like, he's obviously very fortunate, but just like everybody else, like, you don't even know how good this job really is. You need to work at the shitty job to know how good a good job really is, or a great job, and
Oh, I
how
know
great
it.
a great job
I
is.
tell Zach all the time, I've never worked a job at like a big business. I've always worked for family-owned businesses.
Yep.
And that's where you get worked to the fucking bone.
Yep.
They're like, oh, we love you as family. Now work until you die.
Yeah. Every
And
job
those are
was.
all the jobs I've always had. And it's always been 60 hours a week. Like, work your fucking ass off. And then to go from all of that to this is like, oh my God.
I'm almost bored.
Listen, I'll tell you guys though, which is completely fair. I had fucking jobs. I got into soul when I was 19, so I had all the jobs before. Overlook Golf Center, I was a lot boy at Cadillac. I was maintenance guy. I did all like the shitty jobs that you do at 18. I was a server, bartender, which was trash, but you make good money at a young age. But you know, bartending, you go in at 5 o'clock, you don't leave till 3 in the morning, 2 in the morning, which is trash. But I will tell you, when I got in solar, I worked 60 hours a week for the first.
You probably had to.
Yeah, I worked 60 hours a week for the first year and a half, at least, maybe 2 years, 3 years. Now I work more now than I did even when I started.
Right.
Now I'm usually at the office from fucking today, 8 a.m. It's 8:30 p.m. and I haven't left.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
almost
You know?
9 o'clock. Yeah.
So I work pretty goddamn hard still, but it's so fun. Like,
Right.
I don't ever feel like I'm working,
Right.
you know?
Yeah,
And the
that's
door knocking in the
facts.
beginning sucked, but I fucking love the door knocking. Like, when I'm 19 years old, 20 years old, and I was making the money, I love door knocking. And like, I always knew that I had to earn this and what I wanted to do, that I had to go earn it through door knocking. Like, I embraced the suck of door knocking because I was excited because I'd be able to talk about it later on in life.
Correct.
Of like, I went through the suck of knocking on doors for fucking 2 years straight, you know?
You
So-
knew and appreciated what
Correct.
you actually had handed to you when most people would just
I'm like,
not
bro,
understand it.
door knocking is incredible. This is fucking great. Like, all I have to do is handle some rejection and I can make this money. Like, this isn't hard, you know?
Yep.
But in the beginning, I fucking worked a lot of fucking hours knocking on doors. I knocked on a lot of doors. And there was the same thing. I used to get home at 8, 9 o'clock at night from knocking on doors. And I moved out at 18. So
I remember
struggling with the
I'd
shit.
like say to you, like, what are you doing? Knocking doors. I knock doors every day. That's what I do. Like literally, what are you doing today? Knocking doors. What are you doing today?
And that was
Knocking
before
doors.
anyone
What are you
was
doing
knocking
today?
doors
Knocking
over here. Nobody knew about knocking on doors back when I started in New York. There was no other solar companies in New York. There was 2 in all of New York that were trying to sell solar. And
Really?
none of them were doing door to door.
Damn.
When Jill started this team here, it was like nobody did door to door.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it's nuts.
But the funny story, which isn't me, but I'll tell you, Jill, when he was finishing up his role at Solar City, they handed him leads they handed him a stack of, 250 qualified leads. And in front of the entire group of people, everyone was so excited. They were cheering because they never got handed leads like that. He walked over to the garbage can, threw it in the garbage. The whole room went silent. And he said, I won't take a single one of your fucking leads, and I'll sell more deals than every fucking one of you. And he went out and he sold like 42 deals that month, knocking on doors, and crushed everyone on the team. And then,
Jill did 42
Guys.
deals.
yo, back in the day, bro,
He's a legend.
nobody knew about solar, and it was so new that everyone wanted to talk to you. If they opened the door and you said solar,
Yeah,
everyone would say, yeah, come in, tell me more about it.
that's crazy.
Everybody. So it was so
it
much
didn't
different.
have the stigmatism,
You
know,
know
like
what I
it was
would
too
do
early.
for
like
that?
8 years ago.
Right.
But everyone
Oh
was
my
making
God.
dirt on deals. You wouldn't make shit on any deals.
So you had to sell 40 a month to make
They were
money.
making way less. They were selling 50 a month and making a third of what we're making now,
Oh.
a fourth. But back then, I didn't really know any better. But yeah, dude, I mean, shit changes a lot when you got into solar. So now you're living, go ahead.
But funny thing is, now that you were saying that, listen, up until that point, all my life, like when I drove tow trucks, dude, we worked nonstop all the time, middle of the night, rainy days, snowy days, sunny days. It didn't matter. We worked like crazy. And then even when I got into the painting business, which was like, more or less a 9 to 5, 8 to 4, whatever, I had to go sling pizzas at night as a second job, to keep afloat because, you had to hustle to make your money. So, then it was right to car sales, which was just as bad or worse. Working holidays, working Saturdays, working, late at night. See, because retail just sucks. It's not like you could go in the morning and work at 7 and then knock off by 4 and go home. Like you're working from 8 to 8. It's you working when people are awake and shopping. So, just this business is just so
The best thing in the fucking world.
God, it's not even close. Like people, like we can't even explain it to people and you can't feel the experience unless you've really
They don't
done
understand
this.
it.
There's no possible way you could put the words into the right category to have somebody truly grasp what you feel and go through
watch
on a
this.
daily
Watch
basis.
this. Give me a 1 to 10 on your first 6 months in solar. How are you feeling?
Oh.
1 being you wanted to die, 10 being it was the greatest day of your life.
-3.
Give me a 1 to 10 on now.
Oh, 12.
All right, sir. So listen, we're gonna set up a site survey. That's the next step in the process.
It really is like it's hard to put in perspective because when you have the right combination of everything put together, it's like almost like perfection. Like you're actually doing the client a favor. You feel like you justified your existence by like doing something truly meaningful. Plus you get the pleasure of being your own boss and making really good money. Like it's like
It's the perfect
there
mix.
was like the perfect storm. Yes,
It really
the perfect
is.
storm. So, and to top it all off, like the like knocking on a door, creating something out of nothing, like feeling the accomplishment of that is.
Yo, I
like
swear to God, it's
nothing
primal.
better.
Yeah.
Yes,
It's primal. It's
yes.
like going out and finding food.
correct.
But you're literally finding food. Like you're finding money, creating it out of thin air to buy your resources to live life.
Correct.
It's the most fucking primal way of life that you can live now.
Correct. So you've heard me talk about this, right? People look at money the wrong way, right? Money isn't money like papers of presidents. It's value. Like it's the more value you bring to the world, the more value you receive back by creating that or what's the word? Not creating, but I can't come up with it. Anyway, the point being is like you feel so good about it because you're genuinely bringing value
Yeah.
to a client, to yourself, to the company, to the world in general.
We're
So it's
providing
like
people with tens of thousands of dollars of energy
right
at a hugely discounted price.
and
Hugely discounted.
and you actually own it as opposed like you're tipping the scales. You're going from the worst possible proposition to the best possible proposition.
Right.
Like it's
If we sold solar,
reversing the axis of the earth.
if we sold it at our floor price for the amount, a little bit less than what they would actually pay over a 25-year term,
Uh-huh.
do you know how fucking big the commission checks would be?
Yeah. Crazy.
If we put escalators somehow that ended up being
Right.
interest that
Right.
would pay us over time,
Right.
the amount of fucking money we save people, if that was put into our pockets, I'd only have to sell one fucking
That's
deal.
why utility companies are fucking make billions of dollars in profit.
I know.
Well, listen, I say it all the time too, and I don't know if you guys ever heard me, but like I get up in the morning and I think about it, or even when you're at a client's house or whatever, you're going like, why am I working this hard to actually help you get in a better position?
Yeah.
Like, why do I have to sit here and try to convince you?
I don't get that ever.
Right? Because
I
it's
don't
like
get it.
the psychology of them being stuck in what
What
they've
they have, yeah.
like learned like abuse.
Bro, you can say
And
that
I'm
for-
trying to take you out of it. And you're
Right.
like, no. I'd rather be abused. Like, just leave
He
me
hits me
alone
'cause he
and
loves
let
me.
me. Right. How do you like that? Wait. I mean, I'm putting you in such a better position, and you're justifying a way that you
It's
should stay
unreal.
where you are.
Unreal.
Like, it blows my
People,
mind.
that's how people are though in everything.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's
fucking the way they buy cars, the way the school system is, the way
it's integrated
supposed to,
into their psychology and into their way of thinking. It's
Fucked
bonkers.
up is what it is.
So
All right, let's. Oh, sorry.
go ahead.
I was gonna say it's Zach's life story time.
My life story time
Yeah.
from when I was born in Poughkeepsie.
I was gonna say let's talk about the college contract and then
Oh, yeah,
That's such
yeah.
a good one. I
And
need
then-
to find that.
and then what it's like to see your son do so well
I
at such
love
a young
that
age.
story.
And I'll talk about what it's like to manage my father and how hard it was in the beginning. Yeah, so for those that don't know, I, at 19 years old, was in college, going to a community college in Poughkeepsie. And I was fucking tired of college. I didn't want to go. It was my second semester. And I made a contract that said if I was on track to make $100,000 in the next 12 months, I'd go back to school. If I didn't make that, then I'd go back to school and finish my 4-year degree. But if I did, you have to give me at least 12 months to try to figure this thing out. So I went upstairs. I got dressed in a suit, made the contract, went upstairs, made my dad sign it. He was like, well, this is a win-win. Either my son makes $100,000
Yep.
or he goes and pays for his own college.
I
So-
can remember looking at it and going, I can't lose here, right?
Listen,
That's funny.
That's
You
what they
signed
call-
it,
Of course.
and then where did we keep it? Where did we keep it?
We're still trying to figure out.
I had it somewhere.
Bro,
Yeah, we're still trying to find it. We're not sure where it is, but anyway, I had him sign it, and then I started looking for shit. I dropped out of college, so I started doing ACN, which is like an MLM company.
Yep.
Then I started selling door-to-door solar farms. It's like a subscription to solar farms.
I didn't know you were doing solar farms.
Yeah, I did that for like 4 months. I have a video of me screaming at the top of my lungs the first day I did 3 sales in a day there. And I was screaming. I'm like, I made fucking $900 today. I'm fucking lit. And I'm screaming. 19 years old, bugging out in the car, driving home. And then I bought Master Networks in Connecticut. I bought the Connecticut region of Master Networks, which is like a networking organization. Bought that. My business partner, 2 weeks after I bought it with him, he dissolved the other side of the partnership, and I had to buy him out of that LLC.
Because the guy at Master Networks didn't like your partner. He liked you better, and he was like, I want you to run it.
Correct. So they phased him out. I had to buy him out. Cost me $25,000 at fucking 19, all the money I had. And then a year later, I sold that company back to the business because it was like a franchise model. I sold that company back for $5,000. So I had bought it, spent all the money trying to build it. I used to drive to Connecticut at 4:30 in the morning, sleeping like this at the wheel. Wake up and be in Connecticut. I'm like, how the fuck did I get to Connecticut? I don't even know what I'm supposed to do. I was 19 years old running meetings with 50-year-old people.
Meetings about what? I don't even fucking understand.
You don't know what BNI network is?
I hear it all the time. What the fuck are you guys doing?
So it's almost the same shit. Every week would be a different thing. So 1 week it'd be story. I would come up and everyone would listen to me for 30 minutes, try to sell people on solar. So I would tell you why solar is a good idea and why you should go share referral partners and why you should spread my business. And when you're working with your clients as a realtor,
and then a real estate guy would do the same thing. Exactly.
And
then a carpenter, and then a roofing guy, and then
so we would all pay for a membership to be in there, and then your job was always to get leads for those other people in that group. So like you would only work with that roofer. You'd only work with that insurance agent.
Oh,
you follow me?
So you pay the membership. Who's pocketing the money for the membership?
Master Networks. So I bought, each person paid $50 a month. I got $16. Master Networks got the other money.
And then what happens is
$16 a month.
You're sharing business ideas with each other to hopefully he improves his sales, maybe by marketing somehow different, or maybe
I was driving there. I was driving to Connecticut 3 days a week, making $450 a month for a year.
Fucking hoax.
Yeah. And then I sold it back to the company and fucking started selling solar. So I started selling solar in the midst of Master Networks, like right in the beginning. I actually did them both at the same time because I was doing the solar farm, bought Master Networks, and then started solar, plug PV solar in that mix, which you've probably heard the story on that. But I saw somebody sitting at a meeting when I was still with ACN, and he was doing a spreadsheet of his paychecks on the Excel spreadsheet. And I was like, yo, what the fuck are those numbers? He's like, those are my paychecks for the month. And I said, I'm done with this meeting. I need to work for you. And then sure as shit, I started working for him. A few weeks later, he got a DWI and I took over his position. And that was the end of that. And then I started selling plug PV. And that was 12 months exactly. I dropped out of college in April. Exactly 12 months later, April is when I sold my first deal at plug PV. And then I told my dad, I don't even think we talked about it again because I'm like, fuck you. I started selling solar. You don't got to tell me shit.
Well, listen, you could see that he was
doing it.
He was doing whatever he could to find a way to make money, period.
A week after
he was hustling.
Fucking week after I dropped out of college, I met with my old business partner for ACN. He first hired me in ACN. A week after I dropped out of college, 2 weeks later after that, we went to 10X Growth Conference, Grant Cardone 10X Growth Conference with this guy I'd never met who was fucking as old as my dad. And he was like, I got an extra ticket to the Grant Cardone Growth Conference. You want to go? Yeah, let's do it.
Fuck yeah.
Went down there. I would fucking read books every night, and I'd never left my house, and I just turned into a geek.
Listen, it wasn't even that he was successful right off the bat. It was that he made up his mind to because I still remember, I tell this story all the time too. Like when he walked upstairs, dressed to the nines, I was like, who are you and what did you do with my son? Because he's it was like a flip of a switch. He literally just changed overnight. And even though the money may not have been there immediately, you could see that he was on his path to find a way to make a career some way, somehow, and make his money. So I knew it was going to work out somehow, some way. He was finding his way.
And then I met Jill Sutherland. He told me to knock on 50 doors a day. So I knocked on 51 every day for a year and a half straight. And now here we are. So to tell the part with my dad in it, when my dad started selling solar at Plug PV, it was the weirdest thing in the world. I don't know if there's a way to even express how to manage your dad. Like, because when you started, I was already the manager, so I had to train you. When you didn't do things right, I had to like tell you, hey, dad, you don't do that. Then when you do stupid shit, I had to be like, reprimand my dad. I'm like, Jill, call my dad and tell him he can't do that, because I can't tell him he can't do that.
And I was a thick-headed Italian too. Like, I'm just one of those people. Like, I fucking know. Don't tell me.
And he's in sales for 20 years.
Because I never saw that at all, and I never thought it would be that way.
Bro, and he's in sales for 20 years, and I'm the guy like, Dad, no, you can't sell like that. He's like, listen, I know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm like, all right. And I literally had to say, I have to let my dad fall on his face and fail, so he'll listen to me.
And then think of how hard it was for him to see that too.
Yeah.
Correct. Like, Jesus. I know he's going in like he said before, the darkest days of his life. And I'm like, I got to let him go through it, because if not, he's not going to listen to me and let me explain to him the right way to sell solar.
We love to learn the hard way.
And it also fixes you. Like, that's, when you hire these guys, and we know it now, like we've all done it now, you just go like,
exactly,
you got to let them, right. You got to let them do it. And then you got to let them come to you and go, all right, help me. You got to let them get to the point where they finally figured out,
a better way to find leads.
You should tell me.
Doors?
Yes.
Let me know how it works out.
I'm not going to tell you anymore. You tell me.
Yeah, no, tell me how it works out.
I'm listening.
You going to start a Facebook group?
My ears are open.
Sounds good.
So managing and hiring and training my dad was extremely weird, and also because it was so hard for him in the beginning, and he had already been doing sales for 20 years. I had only been doing sales for a year and a half, but I was like the number fucking 2 guy in the company at the time, or number 3 guy in the company, something like that.
Glenn, do you think Zach is really good at sales?
Yeah, absolutely.
Why?
It's like anything. It's just, well, listen, for one
Why
thing,
Zach?
Personality is one thing. Right off the bat, like, you just have to be able to interact with people. If you can't talk and you can't make people feel comfortable and you can't make them laugh, forget it. Like, it's over. And anybody could learn that, so to speak. But if you have the personality, well, you're a lot farther ahead than most people.
Don't you think he gets it from you a little bit?
Well, I hope so. I would think so. It's sort of hereditary. It's, most of the people in my family are like that. But not only that, like, listen, he has something that a lot of people in general don't have, let alone, teenagers. He kind of has that manifesting, tool in his mind where, like, he just believes it and does it and finds a way to figure it out, which is really the essence of sales in general. Like, you can't not be confident and be successful. You have to be confident to be successful. You have to have a personality to be successful. And then you have to be smart enough to, like, look inside and go, all right, what else do I need to do? How can I do it better? Like, what can I do next time?
Analyzing. Yeah.
Right. So
a lot of that probably comes from his sports background. Now, can you tell us shed a little bit of insight on Zach growing up, but not the sports part? What was Zach like as a kid?
It was always sports. So
a fucking troublemaker.
That's kind of hard to
sports.
detect. Yeah. So, but no, it's yeah, that one's kind of tough, because I always saw him
like in school. Maybe what was Zach
as
like?
Well, listen, mediocre at best, like I was. You know what I mean? It was like really the only
mediocre at best.
Right. I mean,
I was honor roll. I cheated my whole way through that shit.
Yeah.
Listen, and I'll be brutally honest, because literally that's how I just got through school, by getting 75 and 80s. I was smart enough to just listen and know how to take the test and kind of do some of my homework, and you're just sliding by. You're not.
So what did you think Zach was destined for then as a kid? What were you thinking for his life?
Oh God, I wasn't really, like, seriously, because the thing that a parent kind of has in the back of their head as they're raising a kid, like, you want them to be crazy successful like he is now, but the chances are low. So, like, I want him to have as good as a life as I have, and maybe a little better. So trust me, there's probably very few parents that would say,
I
you know,
hate
my son is going to be a millionaire and really believe that.
I
Like everybody
hate
wants him
how
to be,
much I think about that.
right?
Like, I want my daughter to be the best person in the world, but I know good and well there's a 90% chance she's going to be a fucking flop.
Well, yes.
Everyone's a fucking
not
flop.
even right. We know they are, but I'm just, if you think about it, if you can go out and make a living and have your own apartment and have your own car, like you're a fucking good citizen.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
Right.
like
But I want
that's
her
the
to-
answer to your
I
question,
want her
really.
to be like us.
Yeah.
Like hardworking, ever improving. Like, I think she will be.
What'd you think in middle
But-
school when I'm getting suspended and fucking being an asshole and hanging out with the wrong
You're
crowd?
you're a kid. It happened to all
So you
of
didn't
us.
think
You just-
anything different?
Exactly
no,
where you're supposed
no, right. It's they all go through it. Like you know,
Talking
your
to the
mom
mic.
took a lot of things way too seriously,
Yeah.
and you know, it's just one of those things where you like some of the times during a conversation, I would just go like, we did exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, why do you think he's like, why are you taking it so serious and you think he's such a problem or she's such a problem? Like, it's just shit that teenagers go through, you know, when you're a parent and you know your past, you just go, okay, it's fine. Like, I'm not, you know, the kid's not shooting heroin up his, you know, veins.
Glenn, what was Christmas like in your house?
Oh, they always got a ton of
My
shit.
mom was a spender.
Oh, yeah.
We got a Christmas, that's for sure.
She was definitely the definition of a shopaholic,
Really?
for sure.
Even so, Christmas was
1000%.
crazy.
And my birthday's a week before Christmas, so she used to go nuts.
She
I had a
spent it
crazy
before
ass
I had it.
Christmas.
That's for sure.
I had a
What?
crazy ass Christmas.
What was she doing for work?
Well, nothing.
What?
Raising those kids.
What? The way
She
he
was-
said
she
She was
well.
a stay-at-home
When did she
mom,
work
dude.
until?
I spoiled the shit out of her. Like every woman would love to have her position in a marriage. Was just listen. I'm going to make the money, and you're going to stay at home and raise the kids.
Damn.
Like that's it. Like I'm doing okay. We can do this. Like we'll figure out a way to do it. But I want you raising my kids and not daycare raising my kids or my mom or the neighbor or whatever. So that's how it was. Yeah.
How old
I
were
was
the
very fortunate.
Glenn? How old were the kids when you got the pool?
Oh God, they were young, 20. So I had that 20. Yes. Olivia was probably 3 or 4 and
Oh,
Zach
damn.
was probably 1 or 2. Yeah. When
Oh,
we got
damn.
the pool.
We got that shit for free, right?
Great idea. Yep.
That thing, the
Jim-
one we go in?
Well,
that-
I got a brand new one
Oh.
now.
Just
You ain't
got
seen a brand
replaced
new
a year
one.
ago.
Not even. Just this spring it got replaced.
Oh,
I don't
yeah,
think
that's
you've
right.
been there yet.
What?
Just growing the grass back, getting all the landscaping all
That's
done
right.
and everything.
You got a new pool back there?
Brand new pool. I mean, it just went in place where the other one was.
I was just there the other night. I didn't even
You
fucking
Probably
notice.
didn't even notice. Yeah.
No, remember we went away once. We came back and it was new. You didn't. Someone helped Glenn do it. Remember?
Surprise.
Yo, let's get into your relationship now, or maybe what it's like for it to be 40 plus on Tinder.
And also,
Yeah,
real
50
quick,
plus, bro. 40.
know,
Thank
but
you.
I'm trying to just. Yeah, we talk about Tinder with everybody who comes on nowadays. So what's it like being on Tinder? 'Cause we
Oh,
ex-
dude, dating sites are a disaster, dude. Like disaster. First of all, like people just suck.
Oh, yeah.
Like the people in this room, like we are rare anymore. Like
Yeah, baby.
the level of you know, people being moral and having virtues and it's just so out the window. It's crazy. And I think that all has a part to do with the nuclear family. Like 30, 40 years ago, everybody went to church. Everybody stayed married. Everybody, you know, raised their kids to be good human beings. And that's,
All
And that's-
families met at the dinner table at
Yes.
the end of the day
And
and we'd
had
all have
dinner
dinner together
together.
and talk.
Like-
And now it's like that doesn't Who's doing that anymore?
Right. You could say 1,000 different things that have changed in the
Guess
last
what?
50 years.
I'm bringing it back.
I wish
I'm
somebody
gonna have
would.
like 32 kids, and we're gonna have dinner every fucking night. You can come over. I'll be at my house cooking steakies.
Right. And you hear it all the time, like old school, like an old soul. Like it's rare to find today. So
what's it like being an old soul swiping?
Dude,
Talk to me about the
Listen.
swipes.
I think I'd rather have dick cancer.
People have tried to scam me over 200 times at dating sites.
What?
Oh, like I would wake up to naked pictures of 25-year-old girls from a area code out of state, and like, I want you, daddy. I'm looking for somebody just like you.
What would you do as soon as you finish jerking off?
Dude, it was like,
Oh my God.
So here's a funny thing that I finally figured out, right? Like, who falls for this? But guess what?
The desperate men.
Somebody does.
Oh yeah, there's desperate men out there all the time. They're
Like,
fucking idiots. I have no
Even
idea.
criminals have a success rate. Even criminals have a good closing rate. Like, they wouldn't be doing it
Oh yeah.
unless they weren't making money somehow. Dude, I'll tell you a crazy story.
Yeah.
I was talking to this one girl for probably 2 weeks, maybe. And, you figure out pretty early, like, okay, FaceTime me. Oh, no, I can't because my camera's broken.
Because my Adam's apple will show.
Whatever, right? And you're like, all right, this is fucking stupid. So like, out of 200 of them, 195 are gone instantly.
How spicy is Stone getting in these text battles? Let's go. Talk to me spicy.
Oh, no.
You get
Dad
spicy?
talks
No,
shit,
like
though.
I said, 195 are
curse these-
gone.
Don't
Like,
curse the women
You
out,
get
though.
spicy though or not?
no, like
Yeah,
virtually never.
right.
Well, a couple of them would, and then you'd play like,
Yeah, play with me.
right. No. But I mean, in a sense that like, dude, you're a 50-year-old guy in South Africa texting me like, okay, you want to, oh yeah, you got great
Send me
boobs.
20 ruble. I'll show you my fingers.
So then it was just like, now they think they're scamming me while I'm just dragging them along as far as I can until, they fall off.
You got Snapchat, Glenn?
Anyway, oh yeah, I've had that. Call me. Yeah. Like, let's exchange nudes. Like, yeah, no thanks.
Okay.
No, I'm not. I was born at night, but not last night.
Ooh,
So,
Bars.
but
my dad
anyway,
used to say that before he'd whoop my ass.
right. Anyway, there was one, it went on for like 2 weeks, and I'm like, it was like borderline. I was like, it can't be real, but I'm going to at least, give it a chance. One day my phone rings from that number, who's supposed to be this beautiful chick. A dude picks up. I'm like, bro, what the fuck are you calling me for? He goes, well, I've seen some of your profiles, and I think you're into solar, and I think we could get a... And I'm like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, you've been dragging me along for 2 weeks, and now you're calling me up with a business proposition? Like, if I could come through this phone, I'd fucking kill you. Like, what the fuck is your problem? And then he went on to, like, I don't know, some other thing, and I'm like, goodbye. Like, don't ever call me. Like, South Africa, 40-year-old guy. I'm like, he wants me to fly down there so we could meet about this solar proposition. Like, you hang up and you just smile to yourself like,
What
is this
the
what this is about? Like, this
fuck?
is what I have to go through just to meet a person and go out on a date? Dude, it was insane. It was absolutely 100%. And then even if you did meet somebody, like, wait, what's the story about the girl D?
Who?
Somebody's friend that was.
Oh, yeah,
I was sitting
Katie's
on the
mom.
back
Katie's
porch.
mom.
Oh my God.
And I'm going
yeah.
out on the date,
Oh
and it's
yeah,
Katie's.
Your
Katie's mom.
fucking brother's
Oh, dude!
girlfriend's mother.
As soon as
That's
I met
crazy.
her, I always wanted to take him out to a nice restaurant. Like, I'm not going to take him out to Applebee's or something. You know what I mean? Like,
Fuck
People,
it.
to
We
some
walk
people,
into
that's a
Blue-
nice restaurant.
right? I know, but not me.
So wait,
So-
tell the story of how crazy it was.
So
We were all there, weren't we?
Yeah.
wait, somebody was.
Yeah,
We
were
were at a
all
pool
there.
party.
No,
We were at a
you
pool party at
brought-
Glenn's.
Yeah, we were
No,
all at a
you
pool
weren't
party.
there.
Glenn was like, "Listen, we were all at a pool party at Stone's, right?
Yeah,
And then
we were all at your house.
Glenn was like, "Yo, I'm getting ready to go on
Where
a
was
date."
I?
And Joe
He
and-
wasn't there.
He-
Joey was there. Katie was there. Olivia was there.
I think you went to the fireworks.
You
and
weren't
we
there
stayed-
either.
We stayed a
Yeah,
while.
yeah,
Right. It
And
was
then Glenn's like, "I'm getting ready to go out
Oh,
on a date."
that
there was
the
only
night I
a
made
couple
Gianna
people left.
on
Yeah.
your bed.
You're in the bathroom.
No, it was in your bed.
So then Glenn's like, "I'm getting ready to go on a date. Hey, like, look at this
Brock
girl.
was
I'm about
watching.
to
Was
go
he
out."
in there?
He was watching. I thought he was gonna bite my dick.
No,
Oh,
I
boy.
came out and I
I wish
said,
he
"Does
did.
this outfit look good?" That's what I said. I came out. Olivia was there. Joey was there. And Katie was there.
yeah.
And I said, "Hey, how's this outfit look?" And it comes to find out I was going on a date with the girl who I asked Katie, if I looked okay. It was her mom. We found out. You texted me, actually.
That is one of the craziest fucking scenarios
You
ever.
texted me.
Yeah.
And you were like, wait, did Joey tell you or did Joey text me first and then you texted
Listen,
me after
all
that?
I know is this episode is going to be called The MILF Hunter. That's all I know.
What did you do with
And
that?
dude,
girl?
as soon as I walked into Blue Point and I met her, I was like, I want
You
to
took her
eat
to Blue
and go
Point?
home.
Dog.
I want to eat and go home.
This guy's biggest expense is
done.
his fucking dinners with his ladies, not the goddamn.
Dog went to Blue Point.
not the goddamn mortgage.
Damn.
Yeah, that was
MILF Hunter. That's what this is
that was
called.
nuts.
guys.
So the funny thing is the first 6 months I was doing it, it was nothing but aggravation. Like you're just fucking pissed at everybody and everything, and you're like,
Oh my god!
every
It's
time
because
you're
these women are so
swiping-
fucking entitled nowadays because they're gatekeepers. They think because they got a fucking little gaping hole
Right.
with nice hiney next to it
Right.
that they
And-
can control the fucking universe. They
and
have
think
nothing to
about
offer.
it.
These
The
fucking
mentality
whores.
is like, dude, 90% of you girls should be coming after me. Like
Oh,
I'm
speak it.
the.
Facts.
Talk about it.
You know, I don't
Facts.
mean it in that sense, but like I'm just a normal
it's
guy
just
that
a
has
fact.
a normal life.
But you're not a
that's
normal
not
guy.
gonna
And
cheat
And
on
he doesn't
you.
have a normal life.
You're a high caliber, high
even
net worth
more.
He's a high
individual
value man. Someone tell Andrew Tate.
who women that are at your age have lost all of their value because their titties hit their fucking knees now.
Correct.
They should
And
be
like, and you won't. I hit like, and you won't even consider.
Listen.
No.
Glenn, have you-
talking to
Listen.
me.
Were you
No.
fucking 30-year-olds when you were single or what?
No.
Why not?
He is a passport bro. You see the whole thing on TikTok now going around?
What's that?
Being a passport bro? Do you see that?
Nah, what is it?
It's this whole movement this guy started, and he's basically like, you can't date the women in America. You got to be a passport bro. You got
Yes.
to get a passport. You got to go to fucking Colombia. You got to go to Japan. You got to go to Brazil.
Yep.
Somewhere where women
Understand the value.
understand the
of a
value
man.
of a man and still want that family nucleus and still want to be a traditional style woman in Eastern Europe or in Japan, Asian cultures.
And that's exactly the
And
relationship I'm in.
He's
So
in a
tell us about
passport
getting in
bro.
that nucleus.
He's a passport bro.
Tell us about that
Except you don't even
nucleus.
own a fucking passport.
Wait, you've
Well,
never,
she came here.
wait, you've never traveled abroad?
No,
Okay, that,
never
wait.
been out of the country.
So this guy at when you started dating, 57? Started dating her? 50? How old are you? 57?
56. When I started dating her,
Yeah,
or when I started
56.
dating? Yeah, 56. Yeah.
At 56 years old, he's never had a passport in his life. Dates a Colombian woman who doesn't speak English at first.
She speaks some English.
How Colombian is she?
We can. Oh,
Oh my lord!
perfect.
Oh man.
The best I've
Ooh.
ever seen. It's like the best
First
trait.
time he saw her, his fucking pinky almost went straight.
That's a callback.
So wait, let me just get through this part so I can get to that part, right?
We want the Jews.
So now, like, after about 6 months of nothing but aggravation, I finally realized, you know what? This is just like a sales job. Just
You're out there
Keep-
selling dick.
no, just keep
Oh.
going through enough
Volume.
people until you find somebody, right? So now I like took more of the emotion out of it and just thought, okay, how are we going to just find somebody eventually? And that's when I at least started to talk to real women and started conversations, and then conversations led to dates, and then dates led to like decent people, and then it literally just got better and better and better. So
So your first date.
over the
With her.
summer,
Yeah, yeah.
wait, with who? D?
No. You're new. No.
Oh, Janice, no, but I'll get to that part right after I get to this. So just after that, which was last summer,
Ooh.
I ended up having like 3 to 4 girls, all like just having fun now. Like, so the first one was an experience that I've never had before, and we're not going to get into
Wait.
gruesome details.
Oh, we want it.
You do?
No.
Yeah, he was
What?
Stinky Pinky the pimp.
Wait. Let's hear about the details of the craziest thing you ever had. Just like you
All
just
right,
said.
that was my first squirter ever.
Yeah.
She was a Lord's alumni.
Oh, Lord.
Which was cool, and that's like helped it. So we went out to dinner. We went out to the
God.
car, and I knew there was a little chemistry.
The
So I like.
car?
Well,
taking
we
a Blue
not,
Point?
No. We weren't in the car. We were going out to the car, and that's why I kind of made my move. And then I convinced her to get in the car with me, and she did.
Shit.
And that led to me. He and my daughter didn't even know I brought her in the house.
He got the Rain-X complete
It was like
treatment.
11
from
o'clock at
foam and
night.
wash.
I brought her in the house. We did our thing. I brought her back to her car that was parked at the restaurant. And next morning, woke up. Nobody knew what happened except me.
Wait, did
So-
she know?
That was fun. She knew
That was
for sure.
suspect, cuz.
Yeah.
I convinced
Wait.
her to get in the car. Nobody knew what happened.
Was she squirting with from hand to hand combat or penetration?
Both.
Damn.
So the first one, I was like, listen, can I? And she was like, yeah, go ahead. I was like, okay. So did that,
Boom.
And then it went right to,
Splash down water box.
soon as she got into bed, she was like, you need to grab some towels. I was like, oh yeah.
Before she said that?
Yeah. As soon as we got home, she was like,
lit.
you need to grab some towels. I was like, yeah, buddy.
Oh.
Yeah,
Were
buddy.
you fucking her on the regular?
No, that one didn't last long. She was a crazy liberal. That only lasted about a week.
Oh, man.
Those are the best.
Fell off. And I was almost like, okay, good. Like, see
That's
you
like-
later. I had
that's like- For a whole week, we didn't have towels in the house. Dad was going to the beach in the middle of the winter.
And then right after that, I hooked with 3 girls, and I told everyone I dated, I am dating. Like, we are not exclusive. Like, I'm telling you this right now, first date. You don't like it? See you later. And all 3 of those went on for like 3 months. And after the 3 months, I literally just said, this is like too much fucking work. Like, this has been fun.
His
And,
fingers got tired.
Like,
Yeah.
seriously, like, first thing in the morning, I have to text all 3 good morning.
Oh, God.
Last thing at night, I had to text all 3 good night. Like, then I had to figure out what day I'm going to see which one and make sure the other one didn't know that I was going to see that one that
Oh
day
my
and then going to
God.
see the other one.
Wait, we changed the title. It's
Come.
the Tinder Swindler.
Yo, the Tinder swindler.
So that went on, and then I just ended it with all of them. And then I told the universe to bring me an angel, the perfect one.
Colombian angel.
So that was a good story, actually.
Love it.
Started out perfect. Like, we just texting was perfect. She was beautiful and she was sweet, and the way she talked, and you tell she was like a genuine person.
Tony.
And that went for like 2 days maybe. And
Missed
then
it.
she, which was weird, I still to this day, like, you just understand that they don't know the culture. But at that point, I didn't understand why she did it. But she FaceTimed me, which was like, okay, great. This was one of the few people, like, I know you're real now because you're FaceTiming me. You're asking me to FaceTime me instead of me asking you. Anyway, she gets on and she can't fucking talk English. And I'm like,
Perfect.
what do I do? Like, what's this? How's this going to play out? So eventually we hang up the phone. It was, I don't know, maybe 60 seconds to a minute. Like, I was able to say 1 or 2 things and she was able to say 1 or 2 things. And then I got uncomfortable and I was like, okay, bye. And then I blew her off. And I was like, fucking dating somebody? How is this going to happen? Like, that's crazy. And I was in New York at the time. I wasn't going back to Florida. I was up for like a week for some reason.
Where was
And-
she?
And she was in Florida. So I was in New York. She was in Florida. Although I was in Florida the whole winter, just at that time, I just happened to be back in New York. So about probably 24 to 48 hours went by. And at that time, we were off the dating site and we each had our numbers. So we were talking, obviously, because she called me on FaceTime. So I blew her off. And then, like, 24 to 48 hours, I was like, I just, something about her just like has me. And like,
You don't
why?
have to listen to her talk.
No, but like, why am I not giving it a chance just because she doesn't talk English? We can obviously text. I can use Translate when I see her in public. So I was like, hey, I text her back, hey, listen, like, I'm sorry, but like, I'm willing to give it a chance, whatever. And she was like, literally wrote a paragraph, like, thank you. I'm so happy. I really want to meet you and blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, I'll be back, it was like 2 days. I was like, I'm flying back. Let's meet. So we picked the time in the day. I drove to her, was in West Palm. She's an hour away from where I am in Port St. Lucie. And I think it was an Outback. I saw it the other day and I wanted to remember the place that we met. And I could probably find it if I went back there. But anyway, it was like instant. When I tell you instantaneous, as soon as I met her, as soon as we walked inside, it just felt perfect. And 4 months later, it's history.
You clap cheeks first night?
No, definitely not. She
Tell
is
us about
not that kind of, listen, whatever I'm saying now is not going on any social platform.
Wait, this?
Yes.
Ah.
Wait, why? You didn't say anything.
It's my girlfriend,
Wait, you
bro.
didn't
You're
say-
not putting any of this on. It's
Wait,
the
what?
person
First
time you
still
met her?
dating.
The first time you met her?
Well, any of the other, craziness.
wait.
But-
We want to know about the translator app. The translator app.
So I meet her, we just say hello, whatever. I give her a hug and a kiss. We go inside and we sit down and we literally start. At that
That's
point,
beautiful. Why wouldn't you
texting.
want
It
to
was-
share that?
oh,
That's
no,
beautiful.
But like
Tinder stuff?
yeah.
You don't want to talk about the squirter online.
Well, that's fine. I don't care.
Nothing. You didn't say anything
But,
bad.
okay.
Yeah, you're
as
good.
long as there's nothing negative
No,
coming
I
out
only
of my
laughed
heart.
because when you said it was
No.
instant, I thought Tony was going to say the ejaculation. But that's
Okay. So anyway, we get inside and now we're texting back and forth because that's the only way we can really, talk. But, it was great. We hugged, we kissed. I went home. She went home. We talked. We went out again. Same thing. We went out a third time. Same thing. And then it was probably about a 2-week window there, maybe a week and a half or whatever. And I said, listen, why don't I get a place and we'll stay tonight together? And she was like, yes. I was like, oh, thank God, finally. So, that was our first night we spent together. It was somewhere in North Palm, and it was my first Airbnb, but just same thing. Things were just so perfect and seamless at that point, except for the communication part, which wasn't even really an issue because what she texts me, I can translate, and what I text her, she can translate. And when we were together, like even in a restaurant, we would either just text back and forth, or I would talk into the translator, and she would talk into her translator.
yeah,
whatever.
how hard is that?
Pretty
Tell us.
cool dynamic.
It's not. It's really like it was a little uncomfortable, I guess, the first time we started to use it, but then within 15 minutes, it just became like normal. Like this is how we communicate. It's
All
no
right, I
big
gotta
deal.
make a joke. Hey Siri, tell her I'm gonna come. Was it like that?
Dude, sex is no. You don't have to.
Oh shit! It's sending a text to Andrew Kane. I'm gonna
No, it's
Send
not.
it, send it,
So-
send it,
so when
send
you're-
it, send it, send it.
So when your
No,
phone
hell
dies,
no.
when your
Why was
phone
he gonna
dies,
send
My
Andrew
phone never
Kane.
dies.
I love that. That's the new name of this show. My phone never dies.
My phone never dies. I always have it charged. I'm prepared. I'm always prepared for
How much
everything.
Spanish do you know now?
No, not that much. I really don't, because it's using the translator spoils you. You don't like
No,
if I
man.
had to look at a book, I would want to learn quicker so that I
Right.
didn't have to go through the aggravation of like figuring out
Yeah,
what
but
to
you're
say.
seeing the words. You see so many words.
But
You're
you
doing
just see it.
nonstop.
No, even when you see the words, you're just transferring the words to English. So I'm not concentrating
You ain't
on
even
what
trying.
But
you
you know what you should
Right.
do?
You're
to
just
learn it
literally.
is you should say it into the translator and then read it out loud to her.
That's what I'm starting to do.
Yeah,
like
there
I'm
you go.
like I can't when I'm driving down the road and I'm just texting her, we're communicating. But if I'm at home and things are peaceful, then I can like go, okay, what does that word mean? What does that word mean? What does that word? And then sometimes I can look at it and know part of the sentence before I actually
Have
translate
you guys
it too.
talked dirty to each
But
other
now
through
that's
it?
that no. But now it doesn't make sense until you genuinely start using it. You know what I mean? It's too easy to cheat. That's the problem. That's really the point. So like I'm not trying to learn Spanish. I know she's trying to learn English because she has to learn English to adapt to America.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to
Wait,
learn
so how Colombian
Spanish
is she?
'cause
She
I'm-
was born and raised?
Oh yeah, she's born
She
and
have a-
raised.
she
She only
a
came here
citizen?
3 years ago.
Oh shit.
Yep, she only came here 3 years ago. Yeah, that was a
Is
crazy
she like a
story.
traditional woman?
Oh, 1,000%.
All right. So what does she have her own house? What's the deal?
So, she doesn't have her own house yet. She has in Colombia, she has a ranch, has a house. It has horses. She pays people.
Shit.
She has a whole slough.
So mommy's got
people.
dinero.
She's doing okay. I wouldn't say she's like rich by any means, but she's functioning well. Because listen, remember, like she's making money here. The money she makes here can easily pay the people down there because, they live off of a fraction of what we live off of.
Right.
So like having a ranch in Colombia versus having a ranch in the United States is extremely inexpensive to have a ranch there. So, but she's a very responsible human being that has a job and 3 kids, 3 grandkids. They're all in West Palm. I've met every single one of them. I know all their names.
Are you Uncle Gringo?
And she has a 10-year card. So she has, I don't know, 8 or 9 more years to become a full citizen.
It's awesome.
Whatever. We'll playing it by ear, just like the whole language barrier. We're just playing it, and the fact that she lives in Florida, and I mean, yeah, she lives in Florida, and I need to live in New York. We'll play it by ear.
Hit him with the banger, Tone.
Everything has a challenge.
The banger. Here we go.
Okay.
At the end of the day, what is your message to everyone out there?
To everyone out there, the Glenn Dingee message. Just go out there and try to be a better person. That's all. Take care of your kids, take care of your family, make the best out of your life you can. Be a good, honest person, and it's if you want to do stuff, you just have to do stuff. Like we're a living example. He, you, like people overcomplicate life. You
Big
gotta
time.
take chances. Like the struggles, like that one step for me, which was to go into sales 23 years ago, was a major step. Scary, crazy, but it pays off. I hate seeing people that just go through the motions of life and like are almost to the point where like they're numb and it. Like they're just going to work, they're just having kids, they're just in a relationship with their partner, and like they're trying to get to 70 years old when they can retire and move to Florida. Like that's a shitty life.
The trap.
Right. It's a shitty life. Like break out of it. Like you have so much at your fingertips in this day and age that you can, you could do if you just put your mind to it and take some chances and go through the struggle. And, at the end of the day, you can really live the dream. No doubt about it.
I like that.
Right. It's a very general statement, but it's part of what we've all gone through and what I went through way before you guys did it. But it's like, not refreshing, but it's like, it just opens up a whole new life if you just
Actually live by it.
right. If you see it for what it is and decide that once and for all, you're just not gonna go down that path and be a part of the
Rat race.
part of the crowd and the sheep. Like, you see so many success stories and you hear so much about it today. Like it starts to really like, it's so much more believable because you could see it on the internet. It's not, live life like it's in front of you, always just kind of, don't let the static in. But on the other hand, just understand that you can easily have a 10 times better life if you just break out. Go take chances. Go have fun.
Go have fun.